You're not like,
oh wait, this shape is so tasty. I don't know if it caught me. I don't know if we went live yet.
now it's live, yeah. Everyone knows.
Such a tasty shape. Num 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 num.
Everyone knows you're bursting out of the background.
Yeah, good.
Biting your way through.
Yeah, you little snack.
Delicious. Let me just mute my background. Okay, cool. Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to a live stream with Rusty and me.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here, and welcome to all my 0 viewers or whatever.
No, we got ladies in the chat. They're coming in.
Oh, okay. Hello.
Hello, Dragon Fox. Hello, Useless Strawberry. Welcome. I know your names.
I know your names too. Always good to see familiar faces, and by that I mean your little icons. Those are your faces to me.
Anon the Femme, welcome. Anoni the Femme. There you go.
Yes.
Mars Junkie Girl, hello, welcome.
Yes, hi guys. Thank you for being here. I don't have much of a following on YouTube because I'm too lazy to make videos regularly. But
feel that.
It's hard. Making videos is hard, and I do it for my job. So I don't really want to do it in my free time. So yeah. Then, but I was doing something for work, and I saw this survey, and I was like, wow, this is horrifying. I must share it with the girlies. And so that's what I'm doing today.
Oh, yeah. Share the horrors. Spread them around. Lighten the load. Let us all carry this burden together.
I know. It's kind of a bummer, but, yeah. To see, at least in our stream stats. Okay, cool. Hi. Thank you for being here. I was posting about this on my Tumblr, which doesn't have many followers because I got termed pretty recently. Yeah. So like
how recently? Because I thought I followed you.
No, I mean not that recently. I guess like compared to because I was one of the early adopters of Tumblr, so I had that first account for like 10 years or something.
And then, I had mine for about 7 before it went.
Yeah, exactly. And that was sad. Like my webcomic one, so there's a bunch of followers and stuff on that. And then that was. Yeah, have we not talked about this? We're not going to talk about this right now.
No.
It's not good.
It's a topic for another stream. I'm interested to hear about this webcomic you did.
Oh, yeah, maybe we should do I know. I was a generation before you in terms of webcomics. It was a very different world then.
Okay, Grandma.
At some point. I am your grandma. Oh my God. The truth comes out. But we should definitely talk about that at some point because it's interesting.
Hell yeah.
Webcomics. And like I was like, oh yeah, I remember this comic that died. That was me. Haha.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny.
I want to hear about it.
Yeah, so I used to have a Tumblr that had a lot of followers because it was for that, and then that got termed, and so I don't have many now. I don't know how many I have because I don't care. Tumblr doesn't care either.
There's bliss to it. There is bliss to it because I feel like because nobody can see all your followers on Tumblr, the only like added thing of like when you have lots of followers, you get stupid fucking annons all the time.
Yeah.
I noticed you blogged this, and I just want to tell you my life story. And do you have any advice for me? It's like no, I don't. Delete.
I just get a lot of like, well, actually, trans women.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would get those in waves, but then I would just like, I guess because I was a little bit bigger in Radblur or whatever the hell, still kind of niche. I would just get people like asking for advice or being sad that I was like, hey, don't fuck men, and they're like, but why? My Jakey, he's so nice. I'm like, no, he's not. Jakey dies. So.
Yeah, I hope non-binary Jakey also dies.
Yeah. I hope geriatric Jakey dies. I love all this.
Yeah.
I love Jakey side.
Of Tumblr is so good. Yeah. Yeah. Mean women on Radblr just really get me going. It's so much fun. But, yeah.
Meanwhile, what's not good is this article. I don't know. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah. Luckily, like it's a bilingual little like pamphlet type thing. So I was like, oh, I didn't even have to translate it. I just like screen capped a bunch of things. And I also like omitted a bunch of information that honestly wasn't very interesting because the way the survey was conducted, I'm like, it's not super interesting data. It's more interesting from like the Japanese perspective, but it's not really any different from anywhere else. I'm kind of like, I'll just omit a lot of this because it's boring. Okay. But we'll just focus on the stuff that's kind of interesting or different.
Well,
But
thank
yeah,
you for doing the legwork.
no, of course. Thank you for being my charming co-host. But let's get into it a little bit. So
You're
the internet has made
welcome.
everything worse for lesbians in Japan. I say this because this survey was conducted in 2022, or at least it was released then. So I think it was conducted between 2021 2022. So this was like in the
Far
height of
off, yeah.
Corona stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh,
And and
long
like
time ago.
Japan really wasn't that into the internet until Corona, and then everyone had to figure it out for like work from home and like schooling from home and
Oh,
stuff. Yeah. I know this sounds really weird.
okay.
People have an image of Japan as being like extremely technological or whatever,
Yeah,
but
very
like
tech savvy, all in the,
yes.
the latest technological advancements sort of thing. That's definitely my perspective.
Yeah, it's
Um,
absolutely not true. Like if you look at the first world nations, Japan has like at least before the pandemic, Japan had the lowest tech literacy rate of all the first world nations, essentially. So they don't know how to use technology, and also the highest rate of distrust, which is good, because
yeah,
you should
we
distrust the internet.
love
Yeah.
we love distrust in technology. That's good.
Absolutely agree with that. And it was like the kind of thing like it was kind of like the 90s, like in the States, for example, which I can speak to. Like they're like, oh, don't put your face on the internet, though. You'll be murdered instantly. Like it was
Yeah,
kind of
don't
like
put your name. Don't even say what country you're from. If someone asks you that, assume they're like a
trying to
murderer,
murder
or
you.
or that
Yeah.
you're on To Catch a Predator. Like, um,
Exactly. Exactly. Like that's kind of how it was always treated. It's like nobody would ever put their face
mm,
on the internet. Like people had Twitter accounts that kind of like follow news they cared about or like stuff like that, or they would sort of watch YouTube. Even YouTube wasn't really a big thing until the
yeah.
pandemic. Now it's totally different. Like everyone's doing TikTok dances and it's just completely different. It's very and like kids have phones
Unfortunate.
now. Yeah, it used to be like
Oh,
kids did not have phones until around 7th grade in the States, so like
so
13 or
like,
so.
yeah, the 12 or
Yeah.
13. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That was
Mm,
kind of like the age where they might get a smartphone or even just like a regular phone.
wow,
But now it's like you'll
how
see little
times
kids
have
with
changed.
phones. Yeah.
Ugh, I hate it. I hate seeing
I
children
know.
with iPads and phones. My cat even know how to
So
operate that. That's messed up.
I know. It's real bad. It's been real bad for Japan. And this is a survey that kind of like reinstates that for me and I found really horrifying. So I thought,
Mm,
let's get into it a bit. That's why specifically the title's this about the internet making things worse for lesbians is because of that specifically. Yes, this is a survey that was conducted of parents with LGBTQ plus children and their needs. So that is who is being surveyed in this.
I hate
Yeah,
seeing LGBTQ in other languages.
I
It just
know.
looks so wrong next to those characters.
Yep. Yep. But so just like a little introduction here, they're basically just like, yeah, sir, this kind of information has been gathered since 1999. And they're like, yeah,
Okay.
the last one was in 2019, basically. So they're just like talking about like general surveys in Japan. And so it's like, well, there haven't really been any surveys of the parents in Japan.
Okay.
So they're like, we tried to do this. It was like a web-based survey of parents and children who've come out to them, or parents who indirectly heard their children were LGBTQ. So not always having come out. And the survey aims to clarify how they feel and what they feel their needs are. And the survey, the results is presented with figures. So that's basically just why it included that. So the research objective was to clarify the feelings of parents with the gay ass kids and their needs, such as environmental improvements they want from society. And it was a questionnaire conducted after repeated interviews with kids and their parents prior to the survey administration. Then an anonymous self-administered questionnaire was conducted via the web. So it was from 2021 and March until June of 2021 is when they were doing this
Oh,
survey.
I have some fucking babies in the chat. Excuse me. I was
Oh
born
yeah,
in '99 from Lily. Hello,
my
fetus
God.
Lily. Sorry.
Yeah, you are a fetus. Yeah, my God, I was already like a teenager in 1999.
I say from my high vantage point of being born in '96, so much longer ago than
Oh
'99.
Jesus, you're also a fetus. I was born in '86, so but
Nice.
I
Decade
know.
buddies.
Decade buddies. Awesome. But yes, if you're born in 2006, get out of here. You're not our buddy.
Yeah,
Like,
I've met children like that. It's insane. Fucks me up real bad.
I know.
It's like,
Oh
how
my
can you be
God.
born in 2006? That was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's like that's. Oh my God. Yeah. Wow. Fetuses in the chat. But yes. So 211 responses were collected. So this is a small survey. I'm being clear. This is a small survey, but It's kind of like there's like some selection bias because these are all people who are already sort of like involved in LGBTQ stuff, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like they're already kind of in it. So keeping that in mind, and only 130 were valid, which is really bad. Like those who did not respond to more than 80% of questions were excluded from the valid response list. Like, geez, really?
I love that they like. I know valid is just like a normal word, and it's probably even more like normal because you're just like translating it. But that's so funny to me.
You're not valid, actually.
Most of these responses were probably TQ, and it's like, you are not valid.
Yeah, absolutely correct. So, but still, I just find it very funny.
Yeah.
But yes, anyway, so they first asked the parents, like, has your child come out to you about his, her, their sexual orientation or gender identity? And you can see yes is like almost 95.
Did it say his, her, or their like in Japanese, or is it?
Yeah, well, because there's not pronouns used in Japanese. The pronouns basically don't exist. So like, has your child referred to like sexual orientation or gender identity to you? Basically, like, there's no need for pronouns in Japanese. So in English, they added that because it's
so wise.
Wow.
Yeah, fucking. So you didn't translate this specifically?
Nope. No, this was already translated by the company. So I was like, sweet, I can be lazy. So this is the official translation provided, which is
I was like judging you a little bit. I was like, why'd you put a they in there? I thought we were cool.
No, I wouldn't have.
Don't be so invalid.
I would have used it's.
Nice.
No. I would have said like his or her sexual orientation or fetish is what I would have translated.
Oh yeah, honestly, more accurate.
But, yeah, no, I didn't provide the English translations. These are all just the official ones, and so there's a lot of typos and stuff because it's hard to spell check something that you're not familiar with. So it's not a big deal. But yeah, you can see. So most of the cases, the parents had the kid come out to them, and only a few cases like they found out through other means. So no, but I know what you are. I was like, okay. But anyway, and then this is the age of the parents. Average age is 55. So about a third are 60 and older. About a third are 50 to 59. And then a quarter are 29 to 49. And then you've got like the ones who are unknowns. Which is like, you guys are real bad at surveys. Just answer. What's going on? Like, and these are the people who answered enough to like get included in the thing, and they still
what did you say it was like 80%? 80% didn't do it right.
Yeah, it was real bad. So I'm like, okay. But
did they not? Were they just technophobic? So they're like, oh, too many boxes, can't click them all.
Yeah, they're just like, next, whatever.
You don't need to know that. I read the news. I know I'll get murdered if I share my age in this survey. Survey skip.
Yeah, that's true. I bet some of the older people were just like, "You're not gonna dox me," and they just like skipped it. But yeah, range is 29 to 80, which I didn't see this.
Quite a large range.
Yes, I didn't see this the first time. I didn't see 29, and then later that makes sense. So we'll circle back to that.
Fucks me up. You can be a parent at 29. That's fucked up. That's real fucked. I don't like that.
Should not do that.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. Don't like that I could have a teenage child.
Ugh, right? It's terrifying. It's real bad, yeah. Oh, Nick's 13, 1973, and you in the ancientness game. Yes, you do. You are the wise one here. Thank you for blessing us with your wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So here, this is a little bit hard to see, so we'll see it in another chart in a second, but does gender identity and sexual orientation of your child, 16% are gay and bisexual men, 15% are lesbian and bisexual women, 13% are trans, men who identify as trans, 36%, 37% are women who identify as trans, and then other is 16%. Spoiler alert, they're pretty much all trans.
Non-binary.
Yeah, they're all just like trans, but they didn't say trans specifically. So we'll go.
A lot of Hoosiers. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like because bisexual are grouped together, and like
I don't like that.
But on the next chart,
I want to see. I want to know how many fucking lesbians versus bisexuals there are. You know.
Well, you're in luck.
Thank you.
So there are 9.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I fucking thought. That's what I fucking thought.
Yep. Yep, it's mostly bisexual. And that's actually really interesting to me because I know a good amount of like bisexual women here who hang out in like the gay circles and stuff. And they're all just
Mm,
like married to men and like have never come out and never will come out.
yeah.
So I'm
Yep.
like, okay, this is a pretty
Yeah.
kind of
It's
weird. But
pretty normal. It's universal apparently. Stop dating
yes,
men, stop fucking men. If you have any boyfriends in the chat, kill him right now before I
yes,
find him first.
yeah.
Stick a
So
boyfriend havers.
there's
Oh,
only
I'm sorry.
100. I agree. There's only 130 participants here. So 20 are gay men, 9 lesbians, 11 bisexual women, 2 bisexual men, 17 trans women, ugh, 43 trans men. Jesus. One,
Fujo's for high.
I know. Yeah, one. Well,
MTX.
actually in Japan they're all basically lesbians.
Oh,
Spoiler
okay.
alert.
Okay, they're
Yeah.
more normal. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, lesbians with gender brain rot. Sorry for calling you future.
Except look at the average age of children when they came out. The youngest FTM was 7. 7. What the fuck?
Holy shit, I didn't even see
So
that. 7
that
years
is not a
old.
lesbian.
Okay.
That is like we've got like a little bit of a blend going on now. Like until very recently, it's been pretty much only lesbians, but now you are starting to see the whole like Fujo thing starting to happen.
I guess, like, I don't know if I would call a 7-year-old a Fujo. I mean, it could very
No.
well be like a lesbian tomboy child, but if most of them are coming out to their parents, we're gonna get this girl off her phone either
Yep,
way.
exactly.
Get this.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's either like the girl came out like I want to be a boy because the internet told me or whatever, or like the parents are being insane.
Or because
So yeah,
gender roles are, to my
extremely
understanding, are quite strict in Japan.
yes.
Yeah. So I could,
Yeah. It is like there are basically any woman who calls herself a lesbian is always femme here. There are no butch lesbians essentially. They all transition. Like that's
Ugh,
there's
that's
very
so
very few.
depressing.
Yeah, or they identify
Women
as FTX,
wear
which is just like
pants.
I know they're like I'm female, but I'm like before non-binary was a thing. It was like
Man's
FTX or
soul.
X gender. Yeah, it's just like I'm not being a woman, right? So I'm not a woman, but they're just lesbians who hate themselves. I know. And then other 22 people, and there's a breakdown of like the answers like for this because like
Oh,
the parents
please,
could write in.
please give me
It's
the
so
answer
funny.
breakdown.
But yes,
Please.
it's so funny. But also I want to point out something else horrifying. Look at the we're not really here to talk about men, but like MTF trans women, the youngest was 4. 4. And
Not
for
really.
other, which
It's kind of misleading to even have it like say trans woman because like that's a child.
that's a baby,
You
and then
know?
up to 53, which is probably an autogynephile, even though that's less
Yeah.
common here just because of the way the transition laws work and stuff. But and also like
Oh.
society, yeah. Well, because like in Japan, we'll get into that in a second. Actually, we'll discuss that later
no
when
worries,
we
no
talk
worries.
about some of the stuff. But yes. So basically, 9 lesbians are 48 TIFs and more in other. But the only thing is, other is not segregated by sex. So I don't know how many of those are female, but we can say like maybe half are at least.
I think we can fucking guess. Because like men really love to be able to call themselves women, whereas lots of women are like, oh, I just want to be nothing. I want to be an amorphous
Yeah.
entity. Also, 5 is the youngest.
Yeah, exactly. My God. So it's mostly gender stuff. What's interesting though, too, like if you look at the time of coming out on the right side of the column, says at the time of coming out, the average age of children for lesbians, it was like one of the older groups at like 19.3. So like, they've got some experience,
Yep.
in life. And the average age of the parents at the time. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty normal. The only one that was older was gay. So gay men came out around 24.
Interesting.
The parents were also. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I was like, huh.
That's usually I find it's the other way.
Right.
Yeah, like gay men come out sooner.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. I was like, huh. But
like the lesbian stats spot on for me. I came out at 19, so
I don't know any lesbians who are out essentially so in Japan. So this is a very rare cohort of parents, to be honest.
Yeah. Just
but
130.
Yes, exactly. Like this is not an average sample size in any way, but I just thought it's still interesting. So let's go on. So these are the answers for other, and they're so funny. Let's just read them because I just really enjoyed them. I'll
Are we
start
taking
with
turns
one.
reading them, or
Yeah, I'll start with one. You'll do two. All right.
Okay.
I was told they were the Q of LGBTQ, but I don't really understand it.
I was told their gender expression was feminine.
Yeah. I was told I don't think I am a girl.
I was told I'm neither a girl nor a boy. These are like parents sitting in like a care circle of like, I don't understand my kid.
Yeah. This one. I'm not sure whether they are a boy or a girl. They seem to fluctuate and they feel uncomfortable clarifying their gender.
You're not sure you birthed them, woman?
Yeah.
Didn't you see?
Yeah. I think she's like, I don't know if this if my kid
I
came
can
out to
say
me as
this.
a girl or a boy. Like
Yeah.
what are you? She said she was something. I don't know what she meant. I don't know if she was trying to tell me she was a girl or she was a boy.
Yeah. They have not come out yet, but judging from their possessions, I can only guess.
It's like, oh, you found your sister's underwear in your man's bedroom.
Yeah, my son keeps taking my underwear. I don't know what this means.
Exactly.
But I want to be
I can only
sensitive
guess.
to his degeneracy.
I like this next one. I was unfamiliar with the word they used. They said they were something, but I don't know what they said.
Based parent, I don't see them as a girl.
Yeah. Probably
is this about
son. Probably
is this
like,
is this about a son?
I don't see them as a girl.
My 47-year-old son keeps calling himself a girl. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I went wrong.
This next one is so funny. I don't remember what I was told.
Gender identity disorder.
Gender identity disorder. This next one. They do not use any particular language to identify themselves. Like, mom, dad, I'm something. I'm
not what I am, but I am who I claim to be, and inside within is me. There's something could be, and it's like, okay,
okay, so
pass the salt, dear. Let's continue eating. And these are all gender. That's
exist.
I think
exactly. They're all.
I think the only one that might be like, I don't know, just a parent working off gay stereotypes is the one about possessions.
Yes, yeah, it could be like maybe she found like gay porn or something, or like I don't know.
Yeah,
who knows? But
or a baseball hat in her daughter's room. She's like, oh, she's playing.
Exactly.
Softball. I don't know.
yeah. Who knows? But like almost all these are very gendery, right? So let's keep
going. You can go funny. I don't remember what I was saying. They said they were a normal woman. Yeah, this is about a son.
This is about a son for sure. I was told it's easier living as a man. Yeah, that's sad.
I was told I am a boy. I'm reading this like the kid is telling the parent, like, Mom, you're actually a boy. X-gender, sorry.
X-gender, yeah. That's like Japan's version of non-binary that like predates not the importation of non-binary here. It just means like I don't identify with, it's like agender, I guess, sort of type thing. It's stupid.
I don't really understand LGBT.
Like, what is your talking about? You're like, I don't know. I don't really understand this shit. Like,
I don't know what I was told.
I do not know. Yeah, and like this one, next one. I was told they did not like their name. Like,
queer.
Okay.
Just queer.
Like, just queer. Oh, I highlighted this one. So I'm like, this is the only lesbian. Yeah. I was told they liked girls.
Okay. So normal, Queen. You're so normal. Yeah. This parent at this like, I don't know, support group is like the only one's like, yeah, my kid's just gay. Or bisexual.
I guess she doesn't know. Maybe she doesn't know if her kid's a lesbian or bi. So maybe that's why she put other.
Yeah.
She wasn't sure, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, you know, some people are like, oh, I don't like labels. I just like women. Hello, Radical. Also, welcome to the chat. Praying because it's a warm day for you. Lovely. 36. Beautiful. They said they were a girl as they were too young to know about transgender.
So it's like, this is a kid who transitioned. They're like 3-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Girl. Cool. I was told
they were a girl. Too young. I wish I was too young to know about transgender.
22 is so good. I want you to say it in your dude voice.
I don't know. I don't know. As my wife told me about it, I just read the newspaper and smoke my cigarettes. I don't know what's going on with my kids.
I don't even know how many children I have, much less what weird identity they learned from the internet. Like, yeah, don't worry, Radical. We'll wait for you, baby. But we won't actually like stop the thing. But we will.
No.
see you when you
Yeah,
get
we'll
here.
welcome you back a second time. Next time with applause.
Yeah, a round of applause. But yes, so I thought these were super funny. I just really liked the
Yeah, and like these were the ones that got in.
Yeah,
like this.
Exactly.
What were the ones that didn't get in? I hope it was more like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what non-binary means. Please help.
Yeah, none of them
Please
said
advise.
non-binary, which I thought was very funny because that's like literally not a thing here. It's only white people, but very funny, but sad. The one that's, but yes. Next one. When did you find out about your child's gender identity or sexual orientation? So like, when they came out
Again,
to
grouping
me?
gay
Yes.
men and bisexuals. Ugh.
I know it's very annoying because it's mostly bisexuals for the lesbian part, but cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's like when they came out to me, or I had my doubts, and somebody told me. I don't remember. So what's interesting is that like lesbians were the most surprising group. Like 50% of parents did not know until their kid came out to them, which makes sense in Japan. Like I'm not kidding. Where like women, like lesbians, are very gender conforming here in general. Like not all of them, and still to like a slightly lesser degree than the general population, but like even for me, like my gaydar does not work nearly as well here with like Japanese people. It's much harder. Even for men, it's much harder for me to tell if a man is gay here.
Interesting. Like, yeah, I guess
they're
because
much more gender conforming.
They're not breaking the gendered performance as much.
No, not really. Like they're very gender normative, so it's like really hard to tell. And then like, so that was interesting. That was like the most surprising group was lesbians and bisexual women, especially bisexual, and they're like just straight. Sorry.
Yeah, they just straight behaving.
Yeah, so they're very hard.
As in, they're not acting on their same-sex attraction. That's the only way you can either behave bisexual or gay. You act on your same-sex attraction. That is what I find.
Exactly. That's what I find so interesting about the survey. Because I'm like, really? I don't know. Like, hardly any lesbians have come out, and like, I don't know, like any bisexuals who have, because they're all with men and they're like married and have kids and like whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can see MTFs and FTMs, like they were not too different, and then other was like pretty low because I guess it's like weirdo stuff happening there.
Yeah, all the fucking weird responses.
Yeah, and then what I found very funny is like the yellow portion, which is like somebody else told me, like that was the highest for gay and bisexual men. Like people be talking shit about gay men, huh? Like people be
they can't catch a fucking break.
No, people be like, bro, your son is gay, and they're like, what?
Yeah, I saw him walking pretty close to another fella.
Exactly, they're out there getting outed left and right, and I thought that was interesting. And
whereas I guess it's not for like lesbians and bisexual women, because I feel like it's universal. Well, like women's sexual agency is like just kind of, people pretend it's not there, that women have active desires. So it's just like you can like hug and kiss on like your girl bestie or whatever, and it's just like, oh, they are gals being pals. Like
exactly. I also just find that like and somebody pointed out like, well, the FTM number is higher, and I'm like, wouldn't that contribute to the lesbian thing? Which for sure, yeah, because most FTM FTXs are just lesbians, like butch lesbians. So it's like, yeah, they were gender non-conforming as kids, and yeah, definitely that
went
is
down
like
the wrong path.
We can almost just say the FTM FTX group is just butch lesbians, and then like the other group is just like,
and then a 4-year-old girl. We're not sure.
Yeah, 4-year-old girl who like likes to play soccer. So
yeah,
gonna get her tits cut off.
Yeah, it could be anything. No, I'm not. Again, I'm just clarifying for the sake. Like, I'm not saying you're not a lesbian at 4. Obviously, you're born gay and stuff, but like it's, you know, harder to tell because, you know, children usually aren't pursuing, you know, 4-years usually not pursuing
romantic relationships. Yeah,
any romantic relationships because they're like, ew, kissing.
Exactly. Exactly. But nice. Some people like my gaydar. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna show this comment real quick.
I also like, I don't remember. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And my gaydar has turned into who will identify themselves as straight in a few years, Dar.
Yeah.
True facts. It hurts, but it's true.
It do be true.
It do be true though.
I'm still laughing at I don't remember. Like that was an option. It's like that's the dad with the newspaper. He's like, I don't fucking. How did I get on this website? What's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. But let's go on with this very funny little survey thing. All right. Then how long did this is depressing. How long did it take you to accept your child's gender identity or sexual orientation after they came out to you? So lesbians have the worst acceptance rate by far. By far. So
Yeah. That tracks though, again, because
yep,
like
it's very
asexuality
patriarchal.
it doesn't include men is yeah.
And it's also like, so it's 50% took maybe almost immediately, or it took about a year. I bet those like the 50% that are bi. Like,
Yeah, I feel like that was the more acceptable one because they're like, okay, but you still have I see you're still dating a boyfriend, so what you've just told me I can simply disregard.
right.
Um
But yeah, gay and bisexual men. So it's interesting. So like the highest acceptance rate was trans women, followed by,
Wow. I'm so
yep. It's because it's a
surprised.
very like gender rigid society. So they're like, oh, you
Mhm.
must, because like, so
You're
transgenderism
doing the
works
right
in like,
thing.
right, it works
You're
in really
like,
homophobic societies because it's like, oh, you're fixing it. Good.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you're trying to
trying to
fix it.
assimilate. I will try and accommodate you for like keeping your homosexuality like under wraps.
Yeah,
Yeah, we would prefer that. We don't want any,
exactly.
and we don't want any feminine men around. We don't want that.
No.
We'll die.
Yeah. And then next you've got like other, which is again mostly trans, and then FTM, FTX, so like Tiffies and all that. So they're also way up there. And then gay and
Yep.
bisexual men still get out above women. And then women are like lesbians are way down there. Like
Mm,
the ones taking a year or less to accept it, everyone is like at 80% or 90%, and lesbians are 50. And that's
yeah.
with bi women in there. So it's mostly the bi women who are making up the bulk of the like, it's all right. And you'll
Yeah.
notice it has the highest, like, you'll notice this recurring from now on, that the parents of lesbians have the worst, like, compliance to the answers. Like, they just don't answer. 20% did
Yeah.
not answer.
Why are they doing this survey?
I don't know. Like, they're just, like, not into it. They don't give a shit. They're, like, not interested in talking about this at all. But yeah, there's a big pressure to, oh, yeah. This is a good sample or a good comment from Plummy. Plummy. There's big pressure to get married anyway. Gay men or can easily have a double life, wife and kids, and go to gay bars. Exactly. Like that's what happens here. That's what they want everyone to do. Like they want lesbians to do that too. They're like, oh, just get married and have kids, and then go cheat. It's
Oh,
fine. Like marriage is like
that sounds
considered.
that sounds
It's
so
not like a love thing.
depressing.
It's very depressing, but it's like considered like your obligation to like make children. It doesn't matter if you like the person or whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
make more kids for the workforce sort of thing. Hello,
right.
Minka. Welcome. You are
Welcome.
another baby in the chat.
Yes, my daughter is supposed to give me grandbabies. Exactly. Like it's considered your duty to your family to like reproduce. And it doesn't matter if you
Ooh,
like your husband or whatever.
yeah.
And yeah, don't people get married? Yeah. So this whole like pressure of people like you have to get married and make children, like it's backfiring and not working too well because people don't want that. Like I don't want to just marry someone I don't care about and pop out babies and do that. And so a lot of people just are not getting married. So
I
it's kind of,
see.
yeah, it's kind of not working out too well. But parents are still like, especially if your kid's like a lesbian or whatever, they're just like crazy pressuring them. Like you can just have sex with women on the side. It's fine.
Ugh.
But yeah. Yeah, cheating is very normal in Japan. It's like just considered because like marriage is just like an agreement to have kids together
Like,
and like do that. So it's like, well, it's not really a betrayal if neither of you gives a shit about the other person.
wow. Okay. Damn. Fuck.
Like I have like I used to have a good amount of like straight married friends and like they all had boyfriends and stuff. Like it was just totally normal.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Was that hard to like adjust to? To.
And it's yeah, kind of. And like, yeah, you can choose on keep the appearance of a good, loyal, filial family. Yeah, you just keep it on the side. And I knew
Wow.
lesbians too who were like, oh, I'm married to a man, but we already had a kid, so we're done. And I just go and have.
That's horrific.
It's
That's so
horrific.
sad.
I know a lot of lesbians who are like, oh yeah, I have to get married soon because my parents are gonna make me, but I'm gonna keep dating and stuff, so it doesn't matter. Like it's disgusting.
That's very bleak.
Yeah, it's all very bleak. So you can see it's kind of backfiring, but it's interesting that even though like most
Excuse me.
Blance. Blance you rest. It's funny that
Thank you.
even though it's not going that well, like parents are still just like, but my lesbian daughter must have babies. I'm like, no one's daughter is having babies, so like get used to it.
Good.
Join the club. But yeah, this was really sad to me, but not surprising. So
Yeah. It's about what I would expect.
yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if like the other was accepted almost immediately because all the responses were just so I think they were just confused.
Yeah, they're like, okay, so, honey, whatever.
Sure,
Like,
sure. Eat
sure.
your broccoli.
Yeah. Yeah. The worst acceptance rates with many parents refusing to even answer the question. Like,
yeah.
which I found interesting and a trend that will continue for the rest of the survey.
Sag.
Um,
Very sag.
yeah. And then like this one was kind of interesting. Did you think that you want to seek advice from someone after your child came out to you? Like, so after your child came out, like, did you think like, oh, I should, ask someone for
I
advice?
don't remember.
I should look into it or whatever. So again, the lowest percentage of parents who like gave a shit were lesbian and bisexual women's parents. They're just like, eh.
Yeah.
And like, I did
I
want
didn't
advice.
think
And
so.
I didn't think so.
Remember. No answer.
Yeah, no answer. Again, the
Just
highest
dark
rate of no answer.
answering.
Yeah, that's not answering shit. They just don't care. Or like, I didn't think that. And then like 30% or we're like, oh, I did want advice, but I didn't get any. And then 15 were like, I did and I got advice. So I'm like, wow,
Welcome
that's
back, Radical.
Radical.
Things are shit for lesbians. That's what you missed. You've caught up to speed now.
Yeah.
Woo! Everyone clap your pussy lips to commemorate Radical coming in. So excuse me.
That's the sound of two lips clapping.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, baby. No. Okay. Terrible. But yeah, someone pointed out, like the trans women's parents, 61. Oops, howdy. The 61.1% of like trans women's parents got help, which I thought was interesting, and like same for FTMs, like about 60% went and sought advice. I'm like, okay,
yeah, probably because it's more confusing.
Yeah, like, what? I guess they're like, well, how do I help my child mutilate themselves or whatever?
Yeah.
But even gay parents, the parents of gays were still like almost 50% like went and sought some sort of advice. Like for gay men, right? Like, so like you can just see like they're just like, shut up, my lesbian daughter. I don't care. You don't have sexual agency, so you're gonna marry a man and have his kids. Just shut up. Like
yeah. Or we're
like,
gonna pretend this conversation never happened, and you're gonna keep working on getting that husband.
Exactly. They just don't care. Like, okay. But I thought that was another bummer. And interesting how bad the compliance rate was. But this one's more bummer. Like, did the following thoughts cross your mind when your child came out to you? It's fine as long as my child finds happiness. Lesbians have the lowest rate of parents wanting them to be happy. Like,
yeah.
So like it goes the blue one is gay and bi men, the pink one is lesbian and bi women, and then the yellow one is trans women, the green one is trans men, and the bottom one is other. So the same order we've been seeing in the previous charts.
So amazing. The trans woman's like, yeah, we'll just live and let live. He can just keep stealing my underwear. That's fine.
Yeah. That's fine. And like the trans men is fine. The gay men even like, oh, I hope you find happiness. And the others, which are all, mostly gender stuff. And then for women, less than half are like, yeah, I want you to be happy. They're like, no, I want you to have kids. I don't care if you're happy. Cool. And then like, I believe my child should live the way they want to. Again, the lowest rate for women. For men, the others like, no, I have a specific way I want my daughter to live.
Yeah, my little vagina have a
But the rest can do whatever because they're either men or they're women pretending that they aren't women. It's like, well, I can't ask her to, live to fulfill my legacy or whatever because she identifies as a man.
Yeah.
Like, why do girls need happiness when she could have babies? Yeah.
It's the same thing. If you have more of one, you have more of the other. Totally equatable. Interesting in the I am worried my child won't find happiness. The TIFF score is quite high.
Yep. Yeah.
Which I think Espen was saying, like, lesbians have the lowest rate of I was worried my kid wouldn't find happiness, but FTMs, mostly lesbians, have the highest one. What?
I think it's because at the end of the day, they know that those women are attracted to women, and they're like, oh, but other women want dick, and you don't have one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like they're like, oh, you're gonna have a hard time. Because men don't care. They'll put their dick in anything. So if you're a gay guy who transitions, the parents are like, yeah, it'll probably be fine. But if you're like a woman who transitions, like, ooh, this is gonna really, they respect your dating preferences more than if you don't identify as trans. But they're still just like, ooh, that's gonna be hard though. Like,
Yeah, I also wonder if maybe a component of it is like, but our daughter was going to have babies, and like if they only have daughters and they transed or whatever, they
All
could
right,
be
like
like,
you're not going to be
oh,
happy because you won't be able to have it because actually to transition in Japan you are sterilized, so
okay,
you have to be
yeah.
sterilized to transition legally.
I feel like that would be
That's
a
a big
factor
factor,
then.
probably.
Definitely a big factor.
Yeah, yeah, and for the gay men and stuff, they're like, oh well, you probably weren't going to have kids anyway because gay parentage and stuff isn't really a thing here anyway, so it's like
Mm.
less of a factor. So I think that's what made that number happen there. And this one's interesting
Oh,
too.
I'm also looking at I was worried that I had brought them up incorrectly. Again, the TIFF score is really high.
Yeah, because they're a bunch of
And
lesbians. Yeah,
yeah, and the gay men
and gay
score
men.
is interesting. It's
Yeah,
like, so you're, as long as they find happiness, but I am worried I brought them up incorrectly. I wonder if there's any overlap between those two people
right.
answering that way.
I found that very interesting too. I'm like, oh, interesting. Like, you think so? You thought like you could have raised them in a way that made them gay, but like, and the same thing for like TIFFs, but the other ones were kind of like, eh. I think they just
I
don't.
think the lesbian ones just don't care.
No, they don't care. They're just
Yeah.
like, well, because they're just like, that's not a thing. She just says that, but she's gonna end up getting married and having kids anyway, as far as I have anything to do with it. So who cares? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, just kind of like completely disregarding the women's agency. So I just thought that was interesting. And like, I was worried their home environment was deficient. Same thing for TIFF.
Not the not the troid, not the tran womanoid. The Tim. Sorry, I keep saying different words. Like they're like, no, the home life
No,
wasn't deficient. This is so normal.
they're like, no, it's perfect. I'm glad that my gay son will fix
It's
himself.
It's interesting. I wonder if maybe the ego is playing into this one more. Like I was worried their home life was deficient because it's more reflective of like how they ran their home. Like oh, I couldn't provide, rather than like a more general like, oh, I brought them up wrong, because your parents would be like, oh, I was too soft on them, that's why they're gay. But being like coming for their ability to create a home environment, they're like, no, my home is good, my home is great, there's nothing wrong with my home, the way I run my home.
Yeah, it's hard to tell exactly like what they would have been thinking, especially with such like low compliance and answering rates. It's kind of like hard to tell.
Oof.
But
I worried about my child's future. Sorry, I keep reading.
Yeah, the last one.
I
worried about my
I'm
child's
worried
future.
about my child's future. Ooh, we became one there.
Yeah. Ooh la la.
Again, highest for TIFFs.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I would be worried too, because that surgery's fucking dangerous. And I'm assuming they don't just do the tubular, whatever it is, where you get your tubes tied. I know that's the layman's term. I'm assuming it's like a full hysterectomy that they do, or that
I would
you
have to double check. I know they have to be sterilized, so I think it means like removing the uterus and maybe. But I don't think they might have to remove the ovaries as well. For men, they have to remove the testicles. That's for sure.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It has to be full castration to legally transition. So we'll get into that a little bit later, because there's some.
So it's
stuff
like
about
removing any sexual agency.
Yeah.
From
you cannot become a parent essentially after the point that you transition. Is how it works.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And you cannot have minor children and transition legally as well. Like if you're a parent of a minor, you cannot transition legally.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's just like they consider it too unstabilizing to society, to that child and stuff, to have their parent transition. When your child's an adult, then you can do whatever, and you also cannot be married because there's no same-sex marriage. So if you're in a straight marriage, you transition, it would fuck things up. So you have to be divorced. You can be divorced. But
interesting. Interesting. Yeah, you can't be divorced. Ninka brings up an interesting point. She says, maybe unrelated, but I've noticed that dads tend to be more accepting of TIFFs and mums tend to be more accepting of TIMs. It's just based on her experiences, but I feel like I can explain that very easily. Dads want sons. Yeah. And mums love their little sons no matter what he says he is. And he's just so perfect. Okay, I'll call him she, and yep.
Well, this is also like well backed up by the research that so whenever a kid comes out as gay, it's harder for the same sex parent.
Yep.
Like if you're a lesbian, it's harder for your mom. If you're a gay kid, a gay boy, it's like harder for your dad. Like because they feel like, oh, did I not show them gender roles properly? Essentially, so that's like a well documented thing. So in most, like up until the last 10 years, most, TIFs and TIMs have been gay. And that's why it's
Yeah.
harder for the parent of the same sex.
They should get over it.
They should, yeah.
It's baby shit. It's pathetic.
Yeah, and now it's just like, they've got munchie moms and all sorts of shit's going on. Like it's a rat king of despair at this point. But my original point still stands that if it was old school, it was really just like gay or lesbian, and the same sex parent has a harder time with it. But yeah, there's a few more of these things. This one makes me laugh. I did not really understand what my child was trying to say. It's all the trans stuff, like the gay and lesbian. They're like, got it.
Yeah, understood. Very clear.
Very clear. But for like the others, just like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
And then I wanted to meet other parents, guardians of LGBTQ plus children, trans very high. Yeah, I want to meet other degenerate sons. Sorry, no, I'm applying like Western lens. I want to meet other successfully castrated gay sons. Because I need to know how to castrate my son.
Exactly. That was very, very high. Then next was TIFs, and then the other, which is mostly TIFs and TIMs. And then there was like a little bit of gay and lesbian.
They didn't want to meet gay men is slightly less than lesbians.
I think it might be only because there are like more gay, like there's more gay representation and stuff. So I feel like maybe they just kind of know more about being a gay man.
Yeah, they're like, I don't need
to. Questions. I have no questions.
I just read the third one. I wanted to meet other LGBTQ plus people, and lesbian is none. They're like, no, I don't want to have any more lesbians in my fucking life.
Yeah,
don't even fucking try me.
Yeah, I don't want to meet an adult lesbian. Gross. No one's proud of dykes. Like there was a whole.
Yeah, that fucking checks out. Universal.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm totally unrelated, but I'm having a flashback. I got a comment recently on my webcomic Leastbound, which is majority lesbian characters, and someone said that it was taking her out of the story that so many of them were lesbian. This is what she would have voted for.
Yeah, like, I do not want to meet any more lesbians. Thank you.
Yeah, that is enough.
And here, can single people adopt in Japan? I don't think so. I'm not positive, but I don't think so.
Is adoption
it's not common.
Very
it's
not
almost
common?
Unheard
Okay.
of. Yeah, adoption in general is almost unheard of. It's like, so I have a friend who's adopted. I have several friends who are adopted in the States, and so explaining that to people, they're always like, "What? So someone just took you as a baby? Like,
took you? What happens? What? Do they have like harms for unparented children? Like,
yes,
orphaned children. That's the word.
Orphaned children just live in facilities until they age out.
Okay.
Yeah, they live in orphanages.
And it's not like fostering or adopting.
There is a foster system, but it almost has no participation and doesn't exist, basically. Like there's like 2 people per city that will do it. So it's essentially nothing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, adoption is exclusive, almost exclusively for adults in Japan. So like when a family business wants an heir, they adopt an adult heir to inherit the family business, who can technically remain a family business.
What the?
Yeah, so it's like 99% of adoption is between adults in Japan.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's just how it works here. And also like this is really, really messed up, but like it's actually really common between gay couples as well. Because they're like, if something happens to me, the older one will adopt the younger one so that they're technically in the same family, even though like it makes them parents legally. But it's like, well, if I die, the only way you can be involved and have any word in that is that if you're my child.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. So it's really, really messed up, but it does actually happen. They're kind of betting on the fact like, well, gay marriage is probably not going to happen in our lifetime, and I'm getting old and will probably die before you, and I want you to be taken care of.
Wow. God, that's fucking sad.
Yeah, so that's relatively common within gay couples as well. But yeah, that's I've never heard of a family adopting so this comment here. I've never heard of a family adopting the lesbian's girlfriend into the family as a sister, because the families do not approve and generally don't don't think women should have any sort of agency. So I've literally never heard of that happening, but it's mostly the older lover adopting the younger lover. So it's kind of a a real messed up thing, but it does happen with some
Yeah,
kids,
like
especially with
they're
older,
adapting
older
to this.
people.
They're
Yeah,
adapting to the hand they've been dealt, basically. That's really
yeah.
sad. But yeah,
A
the
lot of
idea
them
that
like,
you can just adopt an adult is
yeah,
that's
yeah. It's very, very
let's
common
adopt
to adopt adults.
37-year-old Kevin.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Like,
That's what they
like
do. They adopt adults. It's very strange, and like a lot of couples who are younger, they like really debate about it because they're like, well, if gay marriage becomes legal, then we won't be able to get married because we'll be literally parent and child, so we can't. So they have to decide like,
right.
are we gonna gamble on this or not? But if one of them's like terminally ill or they're getting up there in age, then they'll go ahead and just do
Wow.
adoption as the best option. Because otherwise, like you're screwed. Like the family can just completely block you out, and like you can have nothing. Like you won't be there on the person's deathbed. You won't be there to like you won't be at the funeral. You won't have anything to do with any. It's like it was in the States. During the AIDS crisis stuff. Like it'll just be that. So
Wow.
yeah, it's a workaround. It's not great. But it is, and there's also like lavender marriages here, gay and lesbian couples who get married to please their parents,
Yeah.
and
And then cheat.
they both just have lovers, and like sometimes like because I used to do online dating and stuff, there'd be a lot of women be like, I'm a lesbian, I'm married, but he's gay, and we just yeah, we both have our own thing going on. We have separate bedrooms. We just
Wow.
we're just besties.
I'm assuming they don't procreate; they just fulfill the marriage part, or
sometimes they do but sometimes they won't. They'll just be like,
geez.
oh, it's not working. Like, and I don't know how they do that. It's none of my business. Gross. But
yeah, very unfortunate. No, that's very sad.
Yeah, but sometimes they will just be like, oh, we can't conceive. Oops, oh no. Oh, sorry, mom and dad.
Yep.
Just like they're not even trying.
Both the pipes just don't work. Oopsie.
Yeah, oopsies, it's not happening. I don't know.
Yeah, we totally have sex. Oh,
yeah,
every day, all the time.
All the time. It's just not working.
Yeah.
Can't get preggers. Don't know. Yeah, so that's what they do. But yes, this was kind of a bummer of a slide. Let's see.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Let's go on. Next little bit here.
Let's go on.
Do the following describe what you did after your child came out to you? And it's like, okay, I accepted what my child said. Lesbians have the lowest rate of acceptance.
Tim's had the highest.
Tim's had the highest. Then TIFs. And then gay men. So basically, men just have more agency in general. Like parents are like, okay, well, that's inevitable.
I tried to accept them, so the lesbian score gets a little bit harder, a little bit higher. They're like, oh, I really tried, but it's just so icky.
Yeah, yucky.
I said some horrible things. Oh wow, They didn't say any horrible things to men.
Nope. Only, and then like even the other, it's like, well, those are probably mostly women, so they only said horrible things to the women. Cool.
I did some research on homosexuality. Interesting, they did it quite high in the like the Tims, but they didn't. They still like, no, I'm not gonna think about my daughter being a lesbian with the TIFs.
Yeah, like no, she's straight now. She's straight now.
Yeah, she's straight now. This is my son. Yep. Let's not think about lesbians. I did some research on transgender people, not for lesbians. Stay winning lesbian queens. No association there.
Yeah, not as much at least. They're like, well, but she's feminine. So that means she's really a woman on the inside. But if she were masculine, that means she's a man on the inside. So I wouldn't have, it's very clear if she's a man or a woman on the inside. Like,
interesting. Very like slightly more in the TIFF.
Yeah, because I think it's more of a newish thing. The idea that like, oh, I know that she's of the oppressed class, but don't worry, she doesn't belong there. And everyone's like, oh, that might be possible, I guess.
Yeah, that could be if she's good enough. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Oh, boys.
Sorry, sneezing on everybody. I did cover my mouth. But
okay,
sorry.
Guys, you're safe. You're safe.
Yeah.
She covered your mouth.
I'll wash my hands. Hand sanitizer.
Okay.
See, I'm
I'll do
using
the Foley work. Splash, water.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I thought this was kind of a bummer as well. Like most of these slides are, unfortunately. I mean, I did kind of make it clear with the title of the stream. Next one.
Yeah.
I denied what my child said.
All women.
All women.
Let's say it again. Clap the pussy lips together. All women. Women. It's always women.
Next one. I did not want to hear what my child was saying. All women. All women.
Sad pussy, clap it out.
Clap it out, everyone.
I tried to convert them to a heterosexual person.
Only the lesbian.
Tried to find a way they would no longer be transgender. Only with the women.
Yep.
Only with the women. And I did nothing. Yeah, that sort of tracks because you didn't. These are the people who like answered nothing in the survey. They were like, no. I don't remember. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I did nothing.
I did nothing. I don't remember. I don't know. Like, I did not care. I did not want any more information. I did not want to meet any gay people. I did not want to. I do
not remember what they said. I did not listen to what they said. I am not hearing what they said. I did not meet anybody that they talked about. I will not be looking up anything. I am just here. When can I be done with this survey?
Exactly. Yep. So that was pretty interesting. But, like, the gay men parents were just like, I accept you, child. Everyone else was like, yeah, cool. Yeah. Cool times.
Yeah.
Fun. Ooh. And then we get into like the next section. Next section was like going into societal stuff. And a lot of this I skipped because it just wasn't very interesting, to be honest. But this one's like, was your child bullied in school, inclusive of kindergarten and preschool? And on the left, you have the age of the parents. So like the older cohorts tend to report slightly higher bullying. And then the lower one seems to have less bullying.
Were they doing the bullying? This is like, a strange statistic to me.
Yeah, I've been cutting out until now, like all because every single chart has been split up by the parents' age, and then I've just been cutting them out because it's not very interesting and doesn't really.
I guess it's to show like whether or not like because I guess age could be a factor in like whether they report it or not, or how proactive they are, or what they consider bullying. But I don't know. That's a weird correlation chart to me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's been on every single chart so far, and I've been cutting them out. I forgot to cut this one out.
Yeah,
but,
that's okay.
Because I'm just like,
hell yeah, LGB. I just looked at the other chart.
Bullied,
it says LGB. Oh,
transgender.
Yeah. Others. Sorry, I was elated to see it without the T. That I didn't realize what the stat was for.
Being the most bullied. Give it up for gay.
Whoa, the B is for bullies.
Yeah, woo. But yeah, radical can't sleep. That's that. Oh yes, and yes, sorry, Pumplebee. Yes, they did do things. They tried to convert their daughters and told them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that they were like, okay, I've sat around and done nothing, but I am not going to fucking stand for this anymore. Be straight.
Yeah, they did nothing positive. They just
did
nothing positive. They didn't make any actual like proactive activity. They just like told their daughter she was gross or whatever. But so LGBT report the highest case of bullying, then transgender, then other, which is not as high as I would expect because bullying is a major problem in Japan in general. But yes, thank you.
Others should have been bullied more because they fucking didn't be clear.
Yeah, I also threw my LGBT without the T that I forgot.
Sorry, rusty moment.
Yeah, no, completely understand. But yes. Great. But this wasn't super interesting. So I'm like, okay, that's not really much data. And then we get into, I skipped a bunch of charts because they were not interesting. But it's like, do you think teaching about LGBT in school is necessary? So, and here they put the LGBT together. Yeah, baby. Yes. And then transgender.
Yes.
And you can see like LGBT parents were like, like 2/3, like, yeah, I guess you should teach stuff. And the rest were like, no.
Yeah. No answer.
Keep that gay shit out of my schools. And then like for transgender people, almost 85% were like yes. Only 3% were like no.
Very interesting that they're grouping the LGB all together. Because I would be interested to see like the individual statistics, like because I'm pretty sure most would be like gay men.
Right. Yeah. Probably.
Like ones that had like gay sons.
Exactly. I just thought, I'm like, man, I wish this data was like disaggregated more, but whatever.
Yeah, but we got to see LGB, so small wins.
It's so fascinating, but isn't it disturbing? LGBT is 42, transgender is 66, and we're supposed to act like this is normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then others 22, which is all trans stuff as well. So you can really just make it like 88 versus 42. So it's like more than double are identifying as trans compared to LGB.
But
Cool.
also, it's like, so you agree that LGB and T are different things. You agree?
Oh, in
You
Japan,
agree.
it's very
Yeah.
much agreed that it's a different thing. But
Yeah.
they're just like, well, they just think it's gay people who transition, basically.
Yeah.
But
But
is
so
it
you
also
agree.
interesting? You can see that at no point in any of this have they broken down the T by like sexuality. MTF has
No.
never been clear. Are we talking about like attracted to women or attracted to men? It's not been broken down at any point during this because it's just assumed that they're homosexual.
Yeah.
So yeah. Are there any GC or lesbian groups in Japan? They clearly them. Okay, so it's kind of. I
It's
think
just Nena. It's her at a
just me.
table
No,
with nobody else.
it's mostly like the thing is like there's lesbian bars and stuff like that that admit females only. Like you can be a trans man or whatever because you're just a woman. Like everyone, like that's always been part of the
Oh,
lesbian
yeah.
circle here. Yeah, it's very normal. So like lesbian bars have women and women who transition in them. They don't have men. Men are not allowed.
Hell yeah.
Well, because also the way it works is like you would have to show like if a man walks in, they're gonna be like, can I see some ID? Because they don't card people usually, but if they think you're a man, they will ask for your ID. And it's like, okay, well, in order to get your ID changed, you will have to be castrated. You don't have any children, all this stuff, which AGPs usually, they go into masculine fields, they get married, they have children. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have children.
But they don't have children whose daughter's underwear they're going to steal. Like,
Exactly.
I mean,
that's why they have
realistic.
to like lock a woman down first and like, trick her to having a baby, and then they come out and live their true lives. Right. So
yeah.
That's why like it's kind of like filters out the AGPs pretty well, except now you've got a bunch of like foreign white dudes come in who's like, my name is Ayame, I'm an anime woman on the inside. Change their documentation.
I think the Japanese people should just be allowed to kill them on site. I think that's okay. I think that's acceptable.
No, but like they just like, so it's
just
kind of like
weebs.
Yeah, it's like white people can get around the hurdles because they just transition in their home country, which requires doing nothing, and then they show up to Japan, and Japan has to acknowledge their documentation. So it is a big issue here.
Does the documentation reflect that they're trans?
No.
Or does it? Okay.
No.
Don't like that.
Nope. So they can't. But yeah, so Tims are not accepted in lesbian bars. Correct. You cannot unless you have transitioned fully, in which case they can't like technically prove that you're a Tim versus just like a woman. But yeah, like I said, it's going to filter out the AGPs, and it's like most trans women in Japan are just gay men. They're not interested in going to lesbian bars. Like they're just And yeah, so that was a white guy. Exactly.
Yeah.
So a bunch of white people like, oh my God, you guys are transphobic. And they put up a sign like, we allow trans women for like a week. And then they took it back down. And now they're back to being female only.
Yes, so they got wise.
Yeah, once the West stopped caring, they're like, okay, we can just go back to being a regular lesbian bar now. Because that's the thing. They only have they have like a lesbian only night like on Fridays. Every other day of the week, anyone can come in. So it's like, it's the typical thing. We're like, well, I want to be there on that day. It's like, you can come in
with all the lesbians.
other fucking day. Right.
Yep.
So yeah,
imitates life.
Yeah, they don't actually care. Have you ever seen an HGB weeb type in the flesh? Yes. I know this. There's a grown man who smells like unwashed asshole, who's like a 25-year-old British man who is he works in boy mode for his English teaching job, and then at night he puts on eyeliner and his crustiest anime t-shirt and shows up to lesbian events. I'm not kidding.
See, before that would just be known as like a cross-dresser, like men have already been doing that. Maybe sans the weeb bit, but
yeah, no, they've always been doing that. So it's the same as typical, and like, and only like the very like Western woke Japanese circles are like, oh, he's so brave and stunning. But then we're like, let's go to a lesbian bar after this. Bye, Chris. And then we go to a lesbian bar. It's not allowed. So.
Wow, you are so valid, Chris. Anyway, I got ducked down to the lesbian bar. Unfortunately, you can't come.
I'm gonna post the crush, but have fun, Chris. See you later.
I thought it was bad enough seeing like the weeby trans types here.
No, it's pretty bad here.
To have the audacity to do that in Japan.
Yeah.
For anyone unfamiliar, also like a weeaboo is like someone who's Western and really into like anime, and they see it as like a reflection of all Japanese culture. Yeah. So they think like if they behave like their favorite anime waifu, they're like, oh my God, the Japanese will love this shit, and the Japanese people are probably like, again.
Yeah, no, it's very Japan's not really quite, because they're also very confused because they don't know, like they know that in Japan, like, okay, to transition, like it's like a pretty serious business, like there's a whole like process, it's pretty long, it's like pretty gate kept. So they assume that this dude who's at this event, like, well, he must have gone through all of that. Like that's really weird that he's not gay, but maybe that happens. But there's
Yeah,
like,
and then you're
no,
like,
he has
okay,
a
but he's
full-on dick.
castrated, right? He's
Like, no, he
castrated,
has a
right?
dick. Like, they're like,
Yeah.
what? I'm like, yeah, he literally just works as a man. And like, oh, so he's because like there's a different word for like a cross-dressing fetishist. I'm like, oh, so he's a cross-dressing fetishist? I'm like, yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
they're like, but he's
basically, we
so
got lots of
young. I'm
those
like,
over here.
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's cool. Because like he's it's
Yeah,
mostly the
they
older
start
dudes.
young here because anime. They love it.
Yep, it's cool. I mean, there's actually some lesbian bars that admit men on the basis that they have to pay a much higher amount and they have a time limit and they often have to be accompanied by a woman. So they're kind of like
that's kind of funny.
subsidizing. They're subsidizing the lesbian bar for the rest of us because they have to pay much more to be in there. And so, because that's a problem that lesbian bars have here is that they can't charge as high prices because women make a lot less money, but they still have to pay rent and stuff. So they have to like make money somehow. So like letting men in and then charging them like 3 times what they charge women is one way to do that. So
That's kind of
like,
hilarious. I kind of love that.
Yeah.
Not
so
the men in
AGPs will come
lesbian
in.
bars, but like
The AGP men like accept that. They're just like, it's me, Jessica.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Jessica
to be
Chan.
Here. Yeah. And they're just like, and everyone's just like, all right, well, pay up, bitch. Like they don't care.
Yeah.
So it's very yeah, it's kind
Put
of
your money where your
here.
fucking mouth is. You didn't get the dick cutting off surgery where you can pay it here to the bar.
Exactly. And so like, and they usually like, they know that if they're not on their best behavior, they will be removed and never allowed to come back. And so,
oh, okay. That's allowed too. Cool.
Oh yeah.
Cool,
oh no, they'll
cool.
just kick you out. Like they will just kick you right out and they don't give a shit. Like the police are going to come defend
like
this cross-dresser from this bar. Like,
I feel like you couldn't do that. Even here in Australia, I don't think like you could. Maybe you can. Maybe I don't know enough about bars. Where you just charge people different amounts. I feel like that'd be like a huge lawsuit. People would shit themselves and die.
Discrimination is like allowed in Japan, which is I'm not. You think I'm kidding, but no, it's just like you literally are just allowed to discriminate pretty much all the time for everything. Essentially, which has some pretty bad.
That's wild.
Pretty bad. Yeah, that's a pretty bad.
Oh, I bet
consequences in some ways, but in other ways works out hilarious.
I mean, I'm laughing. I obviously would, like that to not be discriminated, but if it's, that's a pretty systemic issue. So if the lesbians are gonna have like pull a funny one with the discrimination, I don't know. I think that should be allowed.
Yeah. No, it is also nice because you can make all female hotels and all female accommodations, and like you can refuse to rent to males, for example, if you want to.
That's so good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm back on board,
so they just
right?
need more like more class consciousness about that, so they can just like wean men out.
Yeah, they can just be like, sorry, we don't allow men. Period. And then like
no men in this district. Well, this is a woman-owned district, so you can't come here.
Exactly. That's why I really
unless you pay $50,000 and cut off your dick and balls. And even then, maybe not.
You can sit in front of it though. You can hang out in front of it and give us money. But yeah, so let's go on, I guess, because we got distracted talking about things. But
sorry, I'm being so educated. I'm having such a cultural experience right now, learning so much.
That's okay. I think people have questions about it and stuff, so might as well explain.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one. What needs to be done in schools for LGBT pupils? And again, just to break down LGBT, trans, and other, because it's been grouped this way.
Yeah.
Charts. So special classes for
lesbian classes. Do they mean like by special classes? Do they think like, okay, the gay people like can't be in the class with like the other students, like they need their own like gay maths lesson, like, or do they are they saying like it should be taught, like there should be a special class about the subject of like being LGBT or being T or whatever?
The second one, they feel like there should be like a class kind of explaining sexuality and stuff.
Sex ed.
Yeah, sex ed, specifically talking about LGBT stuff, basically. So trans parents are like, yes, please tell the kids that they might be born wrong, more than anyone. Individual support, also the most for trans kid. Optional uniforms, also the most for trans, and second for the other trans.
Makes me so angry. That makes me so angry. That's like, sorry, again, a D rank, because like Australian schools often have like a unisex uniform, but then also a formal type uniform, which is sex segregated, and it pisses me off so much because when I was in high school, so 2013, the year I graduated. I was fighting I had to represent the school, and they're like, well, you're going to have to wear this stupid skirt and see-through blouse. And I'm like, well, I'm not fucking doing that. Give me the boys' uniform. I'm not representing the school. And like, I got my way. And I got to, do a speech or whatever in a suit and stuff. But then like, 5 years later, when trans stuff started really ramping up here, they're like, oh yeah, trans kids can like wear whichever uniform they please. And I'm like, why don't you just do away with sex segregated uniforms? Fucking kids do not, like, girls do not need to wear skirts to school. Skirts are fucking stupid. They limit movement. You're fucking stupid. I hate you, schools. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
No,
really
I
pisses
completely
me
agree.
off.
like, oh, my special son and daughter don't need to wear uniforms and stuff, but everyone else
you
does.
do. But you need to, so that my son feels special in a skirt, or that like my daughter feels special wearing pants. It's just like fucking I hate sexed uniforms. It makes me so angry.
This one. Please tell the gay kids they can get fixed, just like we did with our son. Our son is now straight.
Oof.
Exactly. Oof. But yes, that is the exact energy. And then like uniforms need to be abolished again, most for trans.
Yes, me. But not for trans. They need to wear I'm a stupid shirt. Anyway.
Yeah. Gender inclusive toilets need to be installed again, trans, other trans. But I'm like, it doesn't mean that like, because in Japan, really the push to like making female toilets gender neutral is not a thing. Like they're just talking about like third spaces, which I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like,
I'm fine with that. Do they have like parent toilet rooms in like Japan and stuff, or like family rooms? Or?
Yes, they have like they call them the multi-purpose room. So it's like it's very big. It's like accessible
for like disability for. Yeah, parents with young kids. Yeah, okay. So
and for groups,
I feel
like if you have a caretaker and you need to go in there with a caretaker, like it's like really, they're like little rooms. They're like they're not even little rooms, like pretty big rooms. So like it's a thing now.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, okay. So that's pretty standard here as well, but except with the there's constant like this is an all gender room now.
No, ours is just called multi-purpose room.
It's interesting seeing it like applied. Like it makes sense that the LGBT vote is low because the parents feel like, okay, but like my lesbian daughter knows how to like pee. Like I don't understand why she needed different. Like why would she need to? Like, she did
right. Like, so I think that would be like reflect like basically the general population. The general population is like what for what?
Yeah,
because this is specifically talking about for schools. So they're like, for schools? No, everyone knows if you're male or female if you're in school. So like, just use the one. Like what?
Everyone knows how to use the restroom. They know where to go.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, what? I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Then I saw a video where one was showing there's only men's bathroom and a gender inclusive bathroom, no women's bathroom. She needed help her toddler change. Yep. That is happening. That doesn't really happen in Japan yet. I think Shinjuku Ward in Tokyo might have installed some stations with like only gender neutral bathrooms, and people are really pissed. There's like a woman who started running for city council just based on that because she was like, "Fuck that."
Oh, hell yeah!
Is bathroom thing still going on in Japan? That's still going everywhere in the world. So yeah. Men are disgusting.
Unfortunately, universal. On the like old gender bathroom, the first time I encountered it in real life, God, it's probably like 5 years ago now. But so it was just it was an office I was working at, and I came in and need to use the bathroom, and like they just had a paper printout, right, of like, and it was obviously like all genders for women, and then male toilet for male. And so it was printed out, and they're all exclusive, and it's just on like a sheet of copy paper, and then they also had Braille, like flatly printed. Underneath, and I'm like, this is like exactly the inclusion, like this is how shallow your inclusion is. I'm sure the blind people really fucking appreciate it.
Yeah, your little black dots printed on copy paper. So accessible. I feel accessed already.
Dumb
as hell.
Think I need to access a fucking mental facility after seeing this, but anyway.
Right, and then like educators need to learn more about LGBT. I got the letters wrong, but that's funny because like 90% were like for trans people. They need to learn about that. I'm like, okay,
school and lots of other a large amount about like. But again, because LGBT is combined, I'm going to assume it's higher for gay men.
Probably, yeah.
Just going to assume.
Yeah, and then school counselors need to learn more again, like more than double.
Yeah, they're like, my gay kid can fend for herself. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like,
fuck it.
What more does she need?
I like nothing in particular needs to be done. Like it's like for trans kids, like none of them. They're like everything needs to be done for my trans child. For gay parents, like I think we're good. I mean, it's like one parent,
and the other is like, I am just not quite sure what can be done because I don't know what they said to me.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know what my kid's talking about. I don't know what could be done because I have no idea what's going on. So they're like, what is happening?
My address is 123 help. I am so confused. 123 help, Tokyo Road, Japan.
Yeah, they're like, please blink 100 times if you need help. But they're really like just struggling out there in the other category. And this one, What institutions or systems are needed for your child? So again, the T always has more support. Laws that protect their
Is the
rights.
T yellow here? I'm
Oh
assuming.
no, it's LGB. And then it's like pink is trans, and then the yellow one is other,
Oh,
which is like
other. Okay.
yeah, which is just more T really.
Okay, so again, I'm going to assume because the gray is LGB together, it's going to be higher for gay men. Same-sex marriage. Why is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Again,
okay,
so
that's funny that it's higher for trans because they're like, well, yeah, because my kid is actually straight. They need to not have to be divorced. I don't know what's going on there.
I think that the parents are very confused because most of the kids, like, gay trans people have more rights than other gay people in Japan because you can get married if you're gay and trans. Like, if you transition legally, you can get married. Like, because I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you can get married. You just have to like pretend to be the opposite sex. So that's why a lot of women do transition because they want to get married to their girlfriends. They're like, well, one of us has to pretend to be a man, so I'll do it. And then they can get married. So that is same-sex marriage. So I'm not sure if parents are like saying like that or like I don't understand this at all because it's like, well,
because it's not segregated enough to understand the data.
Yeah. Like, what data is this? This doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what? It's like, but gay people, half of them should get same-sex marriage. Really? Only half of you think that your gay kid should be able to get same-sex married? Wow. Cool. And even same-sex partnership, which I feel like people don't know what that is. They're like, what? But
yeah. Oh, the insurance coverage of hormone true is like even the gay kid owners, the gay kid havers, they're like, yeah, they think
their kid should go on hormones and start transitioning. So cool. Or I guess they're just like, sure, I guess that should be covered.
Puberty suppression therapy is pretty high. I like that that's what they're calling it too, not like these cutesy names like, oh, puberty blocker, irreversible. It's like puberty suppression therapy. Like
yeah. Oh yeah, and this one, maybe they want to avoid surgery and sterilization. So yes, we will get into that in a second because the next slide has like let's look at it here. So insurance coverage of gender assignment surgery for people who have already started hormone therapy at their own expense. So in Japan, you have to go through the system properly. Like you have to like go to a doctor. You have to be diagnosed. You have to like live as whatever for 2 years. You have to get on hormones when the doctor says so. Like you have to like do it according to how it's supposed to be done. Yeah, you have to like commit. You have to qualify. You have to be considered a candidate and all that. So if you are just like taking titty pills from animedickgirls.com, doctors are like, you are insane. You are not well enough to transition. Like you are like, so you are not going to be put onto the proper pathway. So
I do wonder what the criteria is though, because it's probably still like very steeped in sexist stereotypes, but still, I guess at least there is some barrier of entry for Mr. Titty Skittles.
It's like I said too, like you have to like be unmarried, you have to have no minor children, and basically probably you have to be gay essentially is what they expect. Hi Lisa.
Welcome.
A little clap for Lisa. Thank you. But yeah, so if you have been doing DIY hormone stuff, it's like you are not mentally well. You should not.
You've tried to skirt the system. No,
you are not trustworthy. So like apparently that can really mess up your ability to properly transfer or get into the system. Okay. Then the lowering of the age of which hormone treatment can begin, even, which is interesting, only a quarter of parents think that should be lowered.
Because what's you have to be an adult to do it?
You have to be an adult. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there's like a strict age limit, but I would say it might be 20, it might be 18, because in Japan they've recently lowered the age of adulthood, but I'm not sure if that applies to transition as well. But
interesting. Yeah, because the age of adulthood was 20 in Japan, wasn't it?
Yes, and they've lowered it to 18 for many things, like voting, but not for alcohol yet. That's still 20.
Good. Yeah.
So some things are still 20. Yeah, some things are still 20. So like it might be that I'm not really sure how the hormone thing works exactly, but and then the lowering of age at which gender reassignment can begin. 30% were like, yeah, but I like how the gay parents were like, no, that doesn't seem like a good idea. Like, even the other parents were like, I don't even know what my kids said, much less what they need to do. So it doesn't seem like a good idea to start cutting things up.
Yeah, no answer.
Yeah, and this one, the ability to legally change their gender, even if they have underage children themselves. And so you can see gay parents like, that does not seem like a good idea. But half of the trans parents are like, yeah,
expose my underage children to more of this shit.
Yep. And then the ability to legally change your gender even without gender reassignment surgery. And so like here you can see a huge number. Like this is the big push right now in trans activism, is like basically self ID.
Yeah.
Is what they're pushing for, obviously. So like almost 80%. And like for
Yeah,
women,
like
I think women should be allowed to do whatever they want, but I don't think men should be allowed to do whatever they want.
Well, see, but
men should be
see, if
castrated,
women
but
could
not
do
women.
whatever they want, then they could just marry their fucking wives
We
immediately.
can't have that.
But yeah,
Right?
I do agree with that sentiment. But yeah, I think that it should be treated with this way. Like, I still think it's stupid. It's like I would prefer that nobody transition in the same way I would prefer that nobody got breast implants. I just wish that you couldn't do that. Right. That it just wasn't. I don't know. It sounded as outlandish as being like, I want to remove my arms and legs because I feel like it, because I don't like them. I wish it sounded that crazy.
Right.
And yeah, it just wasn't possible. But I do like that they have some things in place. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yep. You shouldn't be able to transition with underage kids in your steed.
Yeah. I don't think you should ever be able to transition if you have kids. Sorry, you're a parent now.
Yeah, you proved your biological process. Shut up.
Yeah, I come like
no. Work then.
Yeah, wear whatever you want, but you are a father or you are a mother.
Yeah, but I mean, like just in general, I'm like, well, you're a woman, you're a man. Just dress however you want in general. Like transition's so stupid.
I agree, it's super stupid, but whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought this was interesting, but again, it goes into like the safeguarding measures which are in place in Japan that activists are like, it's unfair. I'm like, okay, so that's why AGPs have been relatively under control in Japan. There are still some AGPs who like didn't get married, like they're like incels who never touched a boob in their life, so they start transitioning when they're 50. Like that still exists. It's just less common
because they get laughed out of lesbian bars or charged out the ass, which is so funny.
Well, in that case, they wouldn't be able to. They would still get laughed out, but their ID would say that they're female, and they're like, well, we can't really like prove that you're not. Like if you have a legit ID that says you're female, because like most AGPs can't transition legally because they have kids and they're married and all that. But, so that hasn't really been a big problem because they know that they'll get laughed out, and everyone will just be like, get the fuck out, like get the fuck out, bro, like we don't want you in here. Like they know that, so they just
I wish there was more I guess class consciousness with that here.
And they know that like, oh, if I go to the internet, be like, oh, Goldfinger kicked me out, everyone be like, all right, Troon, like you know you're not supposed to be in there, what the hell, like gross.
Yeah,
they know that like the Japanese public will not be sympathetic to them, so they're like, well, I'm not gonna bother. So it's less of an issue. It's starting to change with the younger ones, of course, but
dislike. Damn you.
And like all of this, all the tea is so dumb. It could have been prevented with just real same-sex rights. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is all so stupid, but cool. Now we have to talk about this dumbass shit. Like, oh, but can someone have a spirit that belonged to a? It's like, oh god, seriously, like, our tooth is brushing your teeth more mask or more femme? Is shoelaces mask or femme? Like, oh my god! Like,
I tie mine with the double bunny method, whereas my boyfriend ties it with the single ear. Would I be more mask if I followed his single ear method, or is tying it with two bunny ears more like having two boobs, whereas tying it with one is like having a dick? I don't know. Should I hold my coffee cup with two hands or one hand?
Yes. Oh, good question from our junkie girl. So in that case, the person in Japan can transition, but they have to have their child has to be an adult. So the child has to be like 20. So if you're talking much older, then so again, this doesn't really happen too much in Japan, but you could, you can have a child from a previous marriage, but they have to be adults.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, after that you can. All right. Then what I thought was really interesting is like, as for the needs of social systems, laws that guarantee rights in same-sex marriage were desired about half of all parents of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender children, while the needs of such as hormone therapy were concentrated among parents of transgender children. So under most of these charts, they had like a little breakdowns, kind of things like this, like a little summary. And what's interesting is they never at any point talk about misogyny, talk about how like the parents just did not give a shit about their lesbian daughters. It was never addressed at any point. It's all focused on how trans people are so important or whatever. It never ever talks about gay or lesbian kids, essentially, ever at any point. I'm like, okay, cool, great. So the conspicuous parents not giving a shit and trying to convert and like saying horrible shit to their female daughters was never addressed. All right.
Nope.
That's not something
They're
that to
so
look
valid.
into.
It's their choice to be parents. It's parent fluid, however they want to do it. Their choice. Yeah. It's empowering sometimes to call your lesbian daughter a filthy dyke. You know, they do it to cope emotionally with having such a filthy dyke daughter.
Exactly. Like there's no addressing of that. No talk about like, well, maybe we need to start educating people about things. Like, no, nothing was needed for that. That's all fine.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Nice.
Just, I don't know. I just picture of a cat that I put there. But yeah, discussion time.
I'm eating this shape again. So tasty.
I know.
Yay!
Because most of the users are going to be in America and they're going to be slumber party hours.
Oh, yes. Americans. Sorry.
Yeah. So I just figured. But those are all the slides. After that, it wasn't really, there's nothing really interesting in there. The perfect way.
Well, thank you for taking the time to like, you know, dig through and like find all the stuff. Actually, I didn't do any work for this presentation. I just shut up.
That's fine. That's all I need. I'll put the link to it in my little description later, and I'll like pin a comment with it, like just a direct link to the PDF so everyone can read all the results. I picked the most interesting ones. There's some other stuff, but it's not interesting. But bullying my dyke daughter is empowering. Exactly.
Yeah.
How else will I get her?
That's
to
my
make
emotional support bullying. That's my emotional support lightning rod child.
Oh God, that's sad but true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you guys see this recent I don't know if you saw the post that was just going around last night, I think on Radblur, where it was like transgender identity is associated with bullying among Finnish adolescents. So it's like the non-binaries are the biggest bullies now.
Oh. Well, that needs to change. I think non-binaries need to be bullied into the ground.
I know, right? But it's just, but I mean, I guess it makes sense because like all their whole identity is just like bullying. Like, no, you have to call me Faye self.
Yeah, it's like I get to be the control, and if you don't do that, I get to bully you, and I'm in the right, and you're a bigot, and.
Exactly. That's very funny.
I think if I was in high school still, I would become such a fucking bully.
Right?
To all this shit.
I want to bully them so bad, says Lily. Agreed. Yeah, I need to make some content because I'm in this like pride committee thing at work, and it's so funny because I'm the only actual homosexual in the whole pride committee. Baby. And so, and I'm also like the oldest.
I need to come to Japan to help you.
I know, right? But I'm also
I'll
the oldest.
Swim there. You're not that far.
Yeah, come on over us. But see, the thing is, like, I've got a lot of experience, like in activism stuff, because I'm old and I'm a lesbian, so it's not surprising, right?
You are not old, dude.
But I mean, compared to my coworkers, I'm older than most of them by a good amount. So they all just like keep deferring to me, like, because I'm like, what if we had, like, we should have everyone say their pronouns when we start a meeting. I'm like, that's actually really homophobic because, you know, gender non-conforming women, which are usually lesbians, are being asked over and over, like, hey, I noticed you're being a woman wrong. Can you tell me what you identify as now? And everyone's like, oh my God, Queen, so true.
Oh,
no matter what I say, like, oh my God, you're so right. Like they always agree with turf talking points as long as you don't say it in a way that like offends them. You know what I mean?
That's so good.
As long as you don't push any buttons,
Queen.
It's so funny. They're always just like, oh my God, you're so smart. I'm like we should make everyone do pronouns. Like, well, we were a multicultural company and most of these ideas are imported from Tumblr for 20 years or 10 years ago. And most of the Japanese people who work here. Yeah,
it's insane to me that it all came from Tumblr.
Yeah, like most of this comes from Tumblr. Like non-binary, like it's not really a thing in Japan, and it's not really like it doesn't make sense in Japanese because our company's mostly Japanese. I'm like, you can't ask Japanese people to use they them pronouns for people. Like it's really like cultural imperialism, and it doesn't make any sense. It's really alienating. And I feel like we shouldn't be keep pushing
that
this,
West shit out. Like,
I was like, this is extremely like imperialistic behavior, and it's like alienating. And plus, we have like hijabi who work at our company. I'm like, what? So you're gonna like ask people, like you're gonna say like, oh, men can use the women's restroom, and then we have literal women who won't be able to use the restroom at work. Like, okay, you can't do that. So like, okay, you're so white, Queen. I'm like, all right, Jesus, you guys are dumb as hell. Like, you don't know anything that you believe. You just know trans women are women, trans rights are human rights. You have no arguments. You don't know anything that you believe.
It's really insane how common that is. Like, it's people, and I think a lot of it is because of, people like get called out and dogpiled on online or whatever. Like, people are very scared to like have their own thoughts. They're just like, okay, this is the popular talking point. This is the take that I will accept. I'm not going to think about it further. I remember doing that exact shit when I was, um, you know, 16, 17, 18 on Tumble. I was just like, wow, it feels so good to like reblog the post that tells me to reblog it because it helps trans people. And
Yep.
I'm just not going to think about it anymore. Like, yes, there is lots of questions in the back of my mind, but it's just because I'm not smart enough to understand trans shit. I don't understand it because I didn't experience it. So, yep, I'm just going to parrot the phrase. And then I was 19 and I woke the fuck up. And I was like, oh, wait, this is dumb.
Yeah. No, I was just like, okay, well, I was like, I'm pretty smart. I should be able to figure this out, even if I like, because I can understand the gay male experience to a degree. Like, of course, I'm not like, I don't understand on a physical level. Like, I'm not like, ooh, that's hot or whatever. But I'm like, I get that because I'm also gay. So like, I can see how that works. Like, I get it.
Yeah. And
But
like, well, if
like,
I can enjoy women, of course men can enjoy men. It makes, to me, gay men enjoying men makes more sense to me than straight women enjoying men. I still can't remember. I'm like, but why?
Exactly. No,
whereas
I get
like,
it.
like,
okay.
I'm like, well, gay men, like, there's no surprises there. They both know what they have. They know what they're getting into. I hope they have fun. Whereas like, I see like straight women being like, oh, I want to fuck this guy. I'm like, don't do it, queen. That's dangerous. Do you know he has a penis? He has one of those. Look out. Like,
he's not going to
just
know
in case you weren't aware.
He's not going to know. He's going to be so bad at it. He's not going to But like, no, it's very like, what's interesting is the committee, even though my company is majority Japanese, it's all non-Japanese people in the committee, and they're all like bi-hets or like literally just straight women, and like one guy who's to be bi, but he's just like another bi-het. And so I'm like, as the only actual homosexual, I get fucking give me the mic. I deserve you guys don't know anything. You're all actually straight. Like, let me. That's not fair. There is one bi girl who I know was actually bi because I met her ex-girlfriend of like 8 years, and I was like, oh, hey.
Ouchie.
So, yeah. It's a small world. I'm like, oh. So I found out she was bi because I met her ex-girlfriend. I was like, oh, somehow came up like where I worked and stuff. But anyway, it's very like. The committee is very funny though, because it's just me telling a bunch of straight people. Oh, I have a blue-haired pronoun. Like I'm pansexual boss who's a straight girl. And we should sponsor a drag event. Like, would we sponsor a strip show? Would we sponsor a burlesque event if it was straight? And she was like, oh, that's a good thing, queen. You're so smart. I'm like, you guys are so dumb. You guys are honestly so stupid. Like, you don't know anything. Like,
just
that's
no
so true.
What's happening.
I know, like they literally do not critically think about anything ever. The moment I'm like, okay, but make it not gay. Would we sponsor that? They're like, oh, yeah, we probably wouldn't. I'm like, yeah, see, stop like only sponsoring and plus, like drag is now like the world's worst anime conventions. It's no longer about gay men, about like a bunch of tips and Tims who are just there for their fetish or whatever. It's horrible.
Yeah. It's just such a shame as well because like even though they're like, oh, so true, queen, like, we didn't think of that. It's just like, but are you thinking of it now? Or is like the next like slogan that sounds good to you, are you just gonna be like, well, Nena said this, but it doesn't rhyme like this slogan, so that is truly correct.
Also, like she was like, oh, we could sponsor a queer movie, and I'm like, do not use that word in front of me. And she was like, oh my God, she like erased it from all the documents. She went to the LGBTQ and just like deleted the Q from it.
Yes! No, we need Nena for president of the world, basically.
Bad about everything. I was like wanting to just like scream in delight, but I just had to be like, thank you so much, for respecting my space.
Yeah, honestly, it sucks though because like this like scared response is again probably like based on gender tantrum stuff of like that's bad and this is bad and this is phobic and that's phobic.
Right.
But I'm glad.
Like, oh, you triggered me, so now you have to change everything you do. And she's like, oh my God, yes, queen, let me erase queer from everything. I'm like, thank you.
I wish
that's like part of the.
Oh,
Nena, you're
but
so thank you. Yeah, I have a good time. I'm having so much fun at these Pride Committee meetings because I'm just getting away with everything. And I was just like, oh my God, you're so smart. You have so much experience in activism. No one notices how I always just say LGB. I never say TQI. And I pointed out, like,
Yeah.
because the woke bi dude running this is like, A is for asexual. I'm like, what would asexual people need in the workplace? What they need?
Yeah.
What accommodations do you need if you don't fuck?
It's like don't fuck in the workplace. Oh wait, that's already the standard
Don't
practice.
talk about how much you love fucking. Like, we don't do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what
I would
you think
assume,
you need.
especially in Japan, like, you know,
Yeah,
pretty
no.
conservative country about
Yes, it's very conservative. We don't talk about those things in general. So what would you need that you don't get already? It's like, oh, don't harass them about if they have a partner or not. I'm like, yeah, that's general though. Like, in general, you shouldn't do that. Like, that doesn't apply specifically.
Shouldn't do that to anybody.
Right. So I'm just like,
what do they need? Yeah, that's so good. What do asexuals need in the workplace? To shut up and do your fucking work.
Shut the fuck up. And also, it's like, there's literally no one there even representing that in the committee, or no one in the company coming forward to it. And like, I was tasked with making a survey.
What if secret, you know, 47-year-old generic Japanese name man is asexual secretly? How would you know?
I know. Like, I was just, this is so
in the
stupid.
ace closet.
Yeah. Good night, women, and any flesh tube havers, haters watching. They've been real quiet if they've been watching, but yeah.
Uncharacteristic.
Good night, useless. I know.
Sleep
yeah,
well,
that's why I think they're not
strawberry.
here. Good night, useless strawberry. You're not useless to me. You're a useful strawberry to me in my heart.
Aw.
But yeah, the struggle being ace is in the dating world, not the workplace. Exactly. I'm like, why does this have anything to do with like because we're literally talking about like policies, like, okay, well, if I get same-sex married in another country, because in Japan they'll usually give you like some special time off and like money if you get married, like as a gift.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like, will I get that if I get same-sex married? Like, that's what they're talking about. It's like policy changes, stuff like that. I'm like, what do you need if you're ace? Like, today I also didn't fuck. Can I have $1? Like, what are we talking about? Like, what do you need?
It's like, you know, regular people, like, I don't even believe in asexuality. I genuinely don't. But like, you know, can the rest of us get like dollars for like the days that we don't fuck? Because I'll just, you know, be celibate
like,
for a bit. You know,
if I'm just single, can I get like
single dollars?
Thank you, ladies, for all your thoughts and prayers. I'm not single anymore, but if I were single, can I get?
Oh, you're not.
I told you this.
Is this?
Yeah, the Australian.
Yeah.
It's terrible. She's all like,
I didn't know.
Nar.
We do not say that. We never say "oh no." We say "oh no."
Oh no.
Very different.
Oh
no. Oh no.
Sorry.
There's no R's there. You are imagining them. I'm being bullied, and this stream has become Aussie-phobic, and I'm feeling very unsafe.
My pronouns are.
Oi.
But no, but so yeah. Like, I was just like, what accommodations do they need? And they all just like stared at me blankly. I'm like,
like, true, queen, true.
Right? But anyway, I'm in charge of the part of the survey where we make a survey for all employees. And I'm like, so the way I worked it out, I'm like, please tell me like what are you? It's like heterosexual, bisexual, homosexual, asexual, prefer not to answer, or like whatever. And then it's like, next, do you have gender identity? It's like, yes or no.
Do you have brainworm? Yes,
like,
no.
Are you like, do you identify as trans or non-binary? Yes, no. Which one? And then why? What's wrong with you? No. So because I'm not going to be like, I'm a trans woman, lesbian. I'm like, no. What are you?
Yeah. Say the real thing and then say the stupid thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's like an optional sub menu thing you can go down if you want to believe that stupid stuff. Because Japanese people are going to be like, because I'm not going to be like, what's your gender identity? Cisgender? I'm like, no. I'm just like, do you identify as trans or non-binary? Then
do you identify as trans or are you normal?
Yeah. Are you normal or do you identify some stupid shit? But yeah.
You have to give dating advice now. This is a dating advice stream.
Oh,
Lily didn't ask me. I've been married for 5 years, but don't ask me. Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, I met her at like a real life event. She just kind of rolled up, and I was like, "Bam, let's do this." Congrats, Nena. Thank you. I wonder how the lesbian was received at the Japanese society. It's very niche. Like, Japanese people didn't care about it in general. It was a bigger thing in the Western world. For sure, but it was about prostitution, so everyone has no critical thoughts about it as usual.
Yeah. Sad. They're like, no, that's totally valid for a lesbian to get a prostitute because she's lonely. And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, gross. So I've not read it because I'm not going to read that. Then help me find a girlfriend who could crack the code. Yeah, I don't know. My bestie threw a birthday party, and she's one of my only Japanese friends who's like terminally online. Like she needs a touch of grass for sure.
No,
But she's in all these like she also travels a lot. At least before the pandemic, it's been
but
less
doesn't
since
touch
then.
any of the grass that she travels to. Interesting.
No, not really. She's not into the touching the grass, but she because she just meets all these like brain rot gendies all over the place who tell her stupid shit, and she's like, "Wow, that must be the new thing to believe because you're white, so I believe you." Um, and then
Ugh.
so she's in all these, but she's also in some like solo female traveler groups, so she knows what female is when it counts. Like, it's just
Yeah,
very
it's
silly.
interesting. They always sort of like make their exceptions. It's like Christians who get like, or pro-lifers who get like abortions and stuff. They're like, yes, but for me, it's like, yeah, okay, so you know what's going on, you know what's
Yeah,
happening. You just make the rules different. Also, Anony the femme. That's not a bad idea. I think
yep,
it's good to take your time. You don't have to. You do not need a girlfriend. A girlfriend will not complete you. A girlfriend will not fix all your problems. If you go into a relationship and you're crazy in the head, you will stay crazy in the head while you're
yeah,
dating. She will
absolutely.
not
Like
fix that.
I gave up as well. Don't worry, I also gave up. I just all online dating. I was like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. And I just bumped into her at a picnic in the cherry blossoms. It was very magical and romantic.
Oh, wow,
I
so
know,
kawaii.
I know.
Uh,
And she was just like, yeah, I got her immediately, as
yeah,
I
don't
tend to
rush.
do. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm 36, so like I was single for a long time. Like there's no rush. Like I was
Yep.
single for like probably 7 years. I mean, I
Mhm.
tried dating here and there, but it just nothing really serious at all. It's just not happening. And then online was like a shit show because they're all cutting off their tits or just men bothering women on the internet. So yeah,
Yeah, don't recommend
just
it.
take your time.
Um,
Don't.
I feel like I'm
I,
a very big outlier because I got married at 22.
yeah,
Um,
you are an
and
outlier.
I'm 27 now, but yeah, I don't follow my example because it's really fucking tricky out there. I stumbled upon my wife was just so normy.
Mhm.
She was actually like she didn't understand trans stuff, and she was worried when she saw me because like I dress in men's clothing, I have short hair. She was just like, oh no, I hope she doesn't have one of those gender identity things because I don't get that shit.
Yeah, that's the
And
worst part
then
of this whole gender identity stuff. It's like making it hard to know if a butch is like a hot, awesome butch or she's like believes that she's a
stupid
man.
with brainworms,
Yeah,
yeah. And
exactly.
then like on our third date, she said to me, she was like just confessing. She's like, look, just personally, like for me, like just for me, like I'm just like just me. I wouldn't personally date a trans woman. And I was like, oh, I'm going in. Um, let me.
Yeah,
I was like, bam. Let me tell you about some things that I know.
yeah, no, exactly. And like
Because I
some
think
things
I think I first said like I was like, yeah, because they're men, and she was like, oh, like
breath of relief. Yeah, no. See, with my girlfriend is older than me, and I'm already old, and she's just like, I don't fucking get it, mate.
yeah.
I don't fucking get it. Like she just doesn't. She's just not interested. She's like, I don't know what any of this is, and she was in long term relationships during most of this, and is out of one now, and was just kind of like, I'm never gonna date again. This was a shit show, and now it's even more of a shit show, and so I'm just not gonna try. And then she met me and was like, never mind, I'll try. So, very, but yeah, build a separate life, and someone will come in. Hopefully, that's what happened for me. I guess I've given up on dating
Mm-hmm.
already. Yeah, I did that too, and it worked out for me. Recommended.
Yep. Just wait till you're past 30, and then yep, people get a
Yeah.
bit normaler. Then you got to remember also like your brain doesn't stop developing until you're 25. So before that, you're just crazy, like just insane.
Yeah, it's fine.
You
Like
look
I
back
was
on your
just,
early 20s and you're like, yeah, I was just crazy then. It's fine. I'll get better.
yeah, no, I definitely am like those early relationships. I'm like, what was I even doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
It's fine. I just have fun. Don't worry about it too much. If it works out,
Yep.
it does.
There
But
is
yeah,
more
me
things to
too.
do than dating.
Yeah, I was
Lesbian
perfectly
friends will
happy.
stay around longer. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry for
true.
interrupting.
No, it's true. Like lesbian friends, we stick around. We like build our like networks and have
Hmm.
things going on in our lives besides our spouse, typically. So
Yeah.
yeah, that really starts in your 30s anyway. Yeah, see, mine did. I feel like in some ways,
Can't wait to be 30. It's gonna be so good.
it's pretty good.
I'm gonna be so normal. My brain's gonna be even less crazy.
I'm so normal, and like things bother you so much less in your 30s, which is amazing.
I can't
Like
wait.
It's awesome. Like, honestly, I really, really liked that. The only thing I don't like is that I look pretty young for my age, especially in Asia. It's harder for people to judge the age of white people because they don't see as many of
Mm,
us. So they can't really
yeah.
tell. And since I don't have like gray hair or whatever, they're just like, oh, you must be 20. Just like,
Oh,
I'm like, I'm 36. I was like,
oof.
oh, like they have no idea how old I am. So I get treated with a lot of condescension until people realize I'm extremely old. They're like, oh my God, you're like a mummy. They can't. God, you're still talking. Like they're just like,
How is that
oh, no.
physically possible?
You're in the workplace and I have to talk to you and you're my boss now.
Yeah.
But I thought
See,
you were
I
like
have
20. But no,
I have
never mind.
the opposite problem. I don't know if you can tell from the amazing picture that I took for the thumbnail, but like I have very like dark eye bags. So like I always get like 5 to 8 years added to my age.
I think what's really happening is just that people don't understand like what 30 something year old women look like because I'm
No.
like they just think that we must look like middle age. I'm like, we are just adults. Like we're not
Yeah, we've been
really
adults for a
visibly
decade.
aging
That's
it.
it.
Yeah. Like barely adults. Like we're not middle aged yet. We're not aging in the way that you think yet. Like it's mostly internal at this point. Like if I sleep wrong, I will be paralyzed for 6 weeks. But like
Ugh.
it's not like I don't look like your mom because your mom is 60.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
35. Like, like
Women
I feel
over
like
25 are ancient. Nursing home for you.
I get very confused by my age. I'm like, I don't actually look younger than my age. You just don't know what a 35-year-old looks like.
Yeah,
So
I've seen that so much where they're like, an actress in her 40s and like, wow, she looks so good for her age. She has her secret. It's like, she's just 40.
yeah,
That's
she's
just
the secret
normal.
is that she's young. Like she's
Yeah.
not. She doesn't look like she's 80 because she isn't. That's not what
Yeah.
40-year-old women look like. What are you talking about? And yes, you repel men so easily. Like they are so
Oh, I
mad
don't
that
have a
I like
problem with that.
exist and keep talking to them and stuff. Like that I like they have to like work to me and talk to me even though they don't want to fuck me. They're like they cannot believe it. They're so upset by it.
Nice. I do not have
Which is
this issue
great.
because again, I project that I look like a lesbian. I look like a very stereotypical lesbian, so I do not have this issue. I'm also taller than a lot of men, so at least around here, I'm 5'10", so I look down on some men.
Wow, way to flex.
I wish I was 6 foot, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But maybe growth spurt in my 30s, maybe.
With your
Bless me,
help,
God.
we can get Rusty the extra 2 inches she needs to be 6 feet tall.
Go fund my height growth.
Go fund.
Everybody raise your
Yes.
hands and pray together.
Exactly. Like send your extra height to Rusty in the mail, and then she'll just get
Please,
taller
you
for
don't need
all of
it.
us.
I need it. I need to be taller.
Yeah. At this point,
I'm getting height surgery. I'm getting bone lengthening surgery.
Oh God, that's the horrifying
valid.
surgery.
I'm so dysphoric.
You have to do
so
it to flex on men, so I approve in this case. I usually don't approve of it, but you really have to do it to make men feel bad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I need permanent stilts grafted. It's pretty good.
I'm not. In Japan, I'm not sure. Like I'm taller than the average woman by a good margin, but I'm shorter than the average man a little bit. So that's only because people here are really
I need
small.
to go to Japan.
Oh yeah, I know. You feel so powerful. You're gonna be huge here. It's great.
Yeah.
It's amazing to be tall.
Don't tell me what to do. Armrest.
Yeah, don't tell me what to do. I'm the biggest. I make all the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would approve of that, but I can't, sadly.
I didn't know bone lengthening surgery was real though. People in the chat.
Oh, it is a thing. Yeah. No, it's for sure.
I was being facetious. I was having a silly.
Horrifying. I mean, it's done. They started developing mostly for like people with like dwarfism to the point where like it kind of makes it so they can't like, for example, wipe their own butt and stuff as they get bigger, like because their limbs are so disproportionate. You know,
okay.
So do arms and limbs. Which I mean, okay, in that case, I'm like, well, it's a quality of a life issue.
I suppose, but I feel like there maybe surgery isn't the first. Like maybe there are devices that they could implement that would not mean they don't have to go under the knife. You know. Yeah. Make the world more accessible for their bodies rather than try and change their bodies. Yeah. But yeah, okay. That I can see that sort of in the same vein that like plastic surgery exists to like, you know, help burn victims or people who have like had extreme like fucked up noses in accidents and stuff so that they can like breathe properly and stuff.
Right. And like not have like a visible malformation, I guess, which like if you didn't have one and then you had one, I can understand that being very distressing. And yeah, like I understand it when it comes to reconstructive sort of things, and this is sort of in the same vein, but Apparently, some people are doing it now just because they want to be taller. Like moids are doing it because they're like, I can't be under 5'8". I have to get my legs like that. Which I think is very funny because sometimes they die. But
yeah, that is kind of funny. I hope them in because like they're like very obsessed with their height. They're like all the guys who are like, oh yeah, I'm 6 foot, and they're like, not
5'7".
Yeah. Like, okay,
like,
dude.
how am I taller than you?
Like, okay, dude.
Okay, right.
What if you say from down there, funny man?
Yeah. Yeah, and like it does make people like Anani says like that surgery makes people weirdly out of proportion. Yeah, because they extend your calves and like your forearm usually.
Ooh.
So like your thigh bone really should not. They should not do things in your thigh.
Yeah, they should not be touching the femur. No, leave the femur alone.
Yeah,
lots of special arteries in there, and don't be touching that.
Exactly. So it ends up with some pretty weird looking proportions, but for dwarfs, usually like that actually works out for them because like that's the area that's most affected. So that's kind of why. And I think they might actually go into the femur in those cases. I'm not sure. But it is extremely grueling and horribly painful though. So
I imagine the physical therapy would be quite.
You're just laying there while they stretch your bones apart for months and months. Like you just like are being tortured daily for months and months and months.
No! I was about to say, like, what do they put in to make the bone longer?
They don't put anything, baby. They just make the bone. They break the bone every day and let it grow in. Yeah. They stretch them slowly, so they go to like a summer camp where they have to like lay in these like. It's horrific. It's really really bad. Yeah, it's
information I did not want.
Yeah, it's really terrifying, and I kind of a lot of parents will do it when their children are young, because that's when their bone has the most ability to grow quickly and like strong.
Yeah, because they're very you have like more bones
pliable.
as a kid than
right.
So,
your body.
Oh, that's
it's horrific.
That's so fucked up. I hate this information. I don't like
Nena,
this.
Stop. Yeah, so it's really really bad. I'm fascinated by these things. I've watched a lot of documentaries talking to the people who've been through this when they were younger and stuff, and a lot of them like, oh, I'm glad I did it because it's made my life a lot easier. Now a lot of them was like, oh, I don't really know, like
that's dubious at best, I would say. Last trend is shaving down your teeth to put fake why would you do that?
That's what veneers are though. Veneers have always been a thing that's been going on for a long time.
I mean, I guess sometimes your teeth need to be shaved down, but like,
yeah, no, it's pretty horrific. So you also have no teeth and need dentures at 30. Yeah, well, it's because brushing your teeth is transphobic. So,
Lily, it doesn't sound fun becoming 6 foot anymore, does it? Well, I didn't know you guys were gonna stretch my bones. You're just gonna like pull on my legs while other people pull on my arms.
We'll get you some growth
I didn't read the
injections.
I didn't read the documentation, probably.
I think you're too old for growth hormone injections to work, actually. So yeah, we'll have to stretch your bones out the manual. Yeah, sorry.
Tug of war, but me.
Yeah.
Though it might pop my back, that'd be nice. Like, do you ever feel that when like you wake up with a stiff back and you're like, if someone could just like pull me at both ends,
stretch me out, yeah. like just pop it all out, baby.
So much better now.
Exactly. That's what I would like. Transphobic to the HEB anti-shower type. Exactly. Showers are transphobic. Toothbrushing.
Yeah, and toughs are actually like calling for genocide when they say that it's unhygienic or inhygienic to not shower. That's actually eugenics, genocide. Yeah, that's what's happening.
Exactly.
Soap is a dog whistle that you should steer clear of at all times, especially anime conventions. Exactly, Lily. I'm getting tugged of war at this slumber party. I don't know if this is what I signed up for.
It's like the new fun game. It's like the board light as a feather, but stretch out your friend to make them taller. I play that.
Yeah, no pillow fights in underwear, just stretch friend.
It's like, oh, Rusty fell asleep first. Time to make her taller.
We're gonna get her.
Get her, girl. Let's make her longer.
Yeah, instead of the hands in warm water trick, it's just like, wake up, you're longer.
Doing the TRA's dream, quartering Rusty.
Yeah, they do want this.
Oh, wow. I
So
like
many
this
angry
one.
tiffies.
Do HPs avoid showers even when they're on their periods? Nice question, Lisa.
Now Lisa is asking the real questions.
That is a deep question. We really got to investigate that one. Pillow fights, stretching the rusty. Exactly.
I'm being oppressed.
Thank you.
I'm being oppressed right now.
You're being expressed.
Yeah, I guess I'm not being compressed. I'm being the
your
opposite
spinal
of that.
column is being expressed outwards.
Yes, fully. Thank you.
Issues. That's true. That's why I prefer to lay down at all times.
Yeah, I love laying down. It's so good. I love being in my bed.
I don't want to lose my height. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm conserving it. I
Yeah.
had to get out of bed this morning to come to the stream. And I was so
sorry.
comfortable.
Yeah, I know. I was too. I was like, oh, I have to stream, but I wanted to, and I thought, let's go over this. I should make like a little presentation about how it's been going in Pride Committee so far. Meeting 1, I got down all the pronoun stuff immediately. Meeting 2,
such a queen, honestly. Yeah. You need to like make a guide, but I mean, like, it helps that you have very like willing to listen participants.
Yeah, I think I'm in a really good position because I'm the only actual gay person. I'm the only person who's like has any experience with activism. So all these people, like, they think that history started in 2015 when Marsha P. Johnson threw Stonewall at
the brick.
At the brick, and then and then everybody clapped.
And I was there. I was the bench that Sylvia Severo or whatever was sleeping on.
Oh my god, that's so
valid.
Honoring. And then Ruth Hall was like, "Slay queens," like that's like they literally
let's
have
all
no idea what they're talking about.
You're the next top drag queen model. I don't know anything about RuPaul.
You wouldn't.
I hate having
basically nailed it.
I have to learn so much about fucking Americans, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of learning, and I get because with my webcomic, Gendies, I don't know, 25% of the time are like, if trans P. Johnson didn't even trans P. Johnson. Marsha P. If Marsha P. Johnson didn't throw the brick at Stonewall, you couldn't even make this comic. And I was like, okay. Did the brick like fly all the way over to Australia? I'm not American, you fuck.
Yeah, and it's also just like the gay rights movement was already a thing before that. By the way, like that was not the start of the gay rights movement.
It didn't start at Stonewall.
No.
Sorry. That's untrue, and you're stupid, and I hate you. Yep, learn something else. Learn a different copy paste.
So and I'm like, I was like, remember all these things that were happening in the early 2000s? I'll just have like blank stares. I'm like, okay, well, I was involved in that, and they're like, wow, you basically are prehistoric because history started in 2015 when Caitlyn Jenner became the first woman to win the Olympics or whatever.
What is it? What the decathlon or whatever the fuck he did?
The event that did not exist for women. Yeah.
Yeah, Lily, repent for being American. You fucking yank. Sick of it.
Please
do something about it. Yeah, trans out of being American. How about that?
Yeah.
Wrap a different flag around you. I don't know.
No, sick of it. I'm obviously an American. I just don't identify as one anymore.
Yeah.
I've transitioned, not really, because my nationality is still, one of my nationalities is still American.
Okay. Got like a dual citizenship thing going on, or does
I do, but not with
Japan. Okay, nice.
Spain and America.
Oh, yeah, and living in Japan.
And living in Japan. And when I met my Australian girlfriend, I was like, "Oh, it's so inconvenient that you're Australian." She's like, looking at me like, "What the? You're a Spanish American who lives in Japan." You could not be more inconvenient to me. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I guess so."
Yeah, exactly. She's doing, she's doing her best.
She's doing God's work.
Don't come for Aussies.
Yeah. She was like, no one ever says that to me. Everyone's always so thrilled that I'm Australian.
We're so exotic, don't you know?
Everyone's like, oh, I'm so glad you're not American. I'm like, yeah, well, not me, baby. I wish you were American. She was like, oh. But yeah, very complicated. It's just like gender, it's such a spectrum. It's so fluid and complicated,
At least then it's literally just legality. So,
Yeah, it's literally, you can change your nationality.
It's just documents. It's just like, I live here.
It's literally a social construct. We drew a circle around the country and said, if you live here, you this. Like,
yeah, if you live here, you here.
Yeah, you here and you this. Like, it's like literally a social construct. So cool.
You literally come from the upside down country but live in Australia. Wow, thanks.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Okay,
What I love
Lily, I
about
take it
Australians
back.
is they have extremely powerful little claws on their feet to hold onto the earth so they don't fall off, which I think is really
Yeah.
cool and
Yeah, it does make
admirable.
things in the lesbian scene a little tricky. You got to shave down the
Mm,
finger ones.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
But I
daily
think you guys are so
routine.
brave, so stunning
Well,
brave for having to live like that.
yeah, thank you. You beaut, mate. Thanks. You're fed income.
Yeah. My nationality is fluid. Yeah, I identify as transnational, and I'm not going to
Transnational
naturalize.
God.
Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
going to
God.
naturalize because I'd have to give up my other citizenships to do that, and I'm not going to do that. So, but
Please inject me with documents.
yeah, I'm just going to please give me that sweet voting right and just get it right to my veins. Gonna get voting rights pills, but yeah, I have to but I will get permanent residence probably this year or next year. So
Oh,
actually,
nice.
yeah, I'm gonna apply for that. So basically, I won't have to do visas anymore. I'll just be like citizenship light. So it's like a citizen who won't give up their other citizenships, so I don't get the right to vote here
Yeah.
because I won't give up
Yeah.
the right to vote anywhere else. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, I've got European immigrants. I come from European immigrant family, and like the grandparents are like considered residents, but my mom applied for like citizenship. She's Dutch. Sorry, censoring
Mhm.
Dutch. But
Yeah,
because
thank you.
she was like, oh, I'm an Australian citizen now, and she had to like mail something to Holland, and they were like, no, you're not. You're still Dutch. Don't care.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah, that happened to my mom too. Like she had to give up her Spanish citizenship to naturalize in the States, and then she was like, Spain, can I have that?" They're like, "Yeah, we don't care. You're still Spanish." So she, yeah, she did not have a problem with that.
Plumbing. Bushwalking it's not an innuendo. It's just walking outside. It's like hiking, but you're not in the mountains. You're bushwalking.
Sure, say
The
whatever you
bush
want,
is
baby.
the outs. Like I'm going to the bush. I'm not saying I'm gonna go have sex with a woman. I'm going outside. I'm going to the bush. Oh yeah, she lives out in the bush. She's not living in pussy 24/7. She just lives out in the country.
You don't know that she could be.
No.
Don't jump to conclusion.
I mean, I hope for for her
Well,
sake, she's also.
you gotta hydrate. It's rough out there in the bush. The nationality doesn't represent my true self. Oh, so true, Minka. Totally get it.
Your authentic self. Let me into this
Authentic.
country. Let me vote, and then leave.
Right?
I don't want to assimilate to you. You have to assimilate to me.
Yeah.
My rules
What?
now.
I'm the boss. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm the captain now. That kind of thing. But yeah, no, just very we're just talking about whatever at this point, which I guess is fine.
Yeah, if anybody has I wish I lived in the bush 24/7. Lily. There's like spiders and shit out there, bilbies and I don't know. I guess that's more
Not in
outback,
my
but
bush.
not in my bush.
In my bush, impossible. More likely than you think.
But yeah, if you have I guess questions, if you guys wanna
Talk about
field
whatever.
us with anything, yeah, ask me anything. I'll give you an uninformed answer if it's like something to do with like maths or something. Don't ask me to solve any equations. But other than that, I should be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I should really make a little series on how the pride meetings are going because it's
Yeah, I want to hear more about that. That's fun.
Oh man, it's
And
so funny. Like, oh, unfortunately, we can't get our insurance provider to like provide non-binary health checks. I'm like, what the fuck would that be?
yeah,
What would a non-binary health check be? I'm like, and like they
a
just like
regular
brush it
check
over.
where you don't like do a pelvic exam, like.
Yeah, but like the thing is, like, okay, so we do like they check your blood. They do like they have these like yearly checkups you do, right? And it's like, okay,
Mm,
fine, but it's like the numbers on those results matter if you're male or female. Like your
yeah,
cholesterol, like all
like
that
your
shit matters.
yeah,
Like
cholesterol level,
your blood
your
pressure, like all of that matters if you're male or female. So like what would that be? They're just gonna average out the numbers and be like, I guess that's good. Like that's not how medicine works. That's not how science works. You can't just be like,
yeah,
in
or
the
it's
middle.
like
Just pick
if your
one.
cholesterol is really high for a woman and you're a woman non-binary, like are they just gonna be like, well, that should be fine because your
Yeah.
identity should cancel out how bad that is for your fucking heart.
Right. Like it's just like that doesn't make any damn sense. So they're just like, because the health checks don't actually include sexual health checks. Like it's literally just like blood,
Yeah.
like hearts, the EKGs, like stuff like that. Like so, it's like but we're still sexually dimorphic in all of our organs. All of our organs are different. Like we can't just be like, oh, your
Yeah.
heart's real bad for a woman, but I guess if you identify as a man, it's fine. Like again, like it's
like
oh, you
you
need a
appear
blood
to be
transfusion,
experiencing
do
like
whatever.
you're experiencing like symptoms of a heart attack, like for a man, but you're actually identified as a woman. So I guess
It's
you
fine.
convulsing on the floor for nothing. Just get up, identify out of it, dude. I mean, ma'am.
Ma'am. It's like, oh, you need a blood infusion. I hope we don't kill you with this because we're just gonna go by whatever you put down. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, so it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you have to do your health check based on your sex. I'm like, well, no shit, because like those numbers mean something. It has to be compared to the standard for your sex. Like, what? Like, it's so stupid. And I'm like, okay, there's no such thing as a non-binary health check.
Yeah, there is no non-binary body. I want to identify out of medical misogyny. That'd be nice.
Right. I just talked about the stream yesterday. Logic makes sense. Yeah, exactly. It's all very dumb, and it's just like, what are we even talking? And so, but in that case, like we didn't go to discussion because we are going through like this list of requirements to get this certification type thing, and it's like they give you like, I don't know, 50 options, and you have to get 20 of them or whatever. Like you have to check off 20 things in order to get the certificate as like a LGBT friendly workplace type thing, right?
Yes.
And one of the things is like this, like, oh, you have third sex spaces like for bathrooms, and like we can't do that because our building, like we don't own that part of the building with the bathroom, so we literally can't change that. So it's like, unfortunately, we can't do this. We can't change the health thing because our insurance doesn't cover it. We can't do these. So these are all off the table. We're just gonna not even bother discussing them because it's not possible. And I was like, good, because if we're gonna discuss it, I'm gonna tell you all how dumb that is. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna be like, this is dumb as hell.
God, how do you get into one of those meetings where they decide what makes an LGBT friendly workplace? To be honest, because
it's all super
so, like,
transy,
trans. It's so trans focused. Like we get a lot of like we have the rainbow tick here or whatever. Like businesses have to do like a rainbow tick thing, and it's mostly like just trans criteria. So now it's like I go to my local fucking supermarket, and they're like, there's like a rainbow, the Progress fried rainbow, and they're like, you're welcome here. It's like, I've been fucking coming to my groceries here forever, like, and I didn't need to tell you, like, I'm not like, oh, sorry, where's the pussy aisle? I need to eat the pussy. Like,
I wasn't fucking in here. Like, it's a problem for you.
It's like crazy, like, but like, what are you going to provide?
Who just ate pussy? Like, did you just? Is that a problem? No shirts, no shoes, no having eaten pussy right before you come in here.
You gotta like have mouthwash and brush your teeth, and you gotta have like 3 weeks off before you can come to get your fucking groceries. Like, what are you providing me? Oh, we're such a safe space now. It's like all you've done is stuck like fucking trans and asexual flags up in the fucking grocery store. If anything, it just doesn't make me feel like I want to come at all. Right. You know? I don't know. Like, what are you doing for me? Like, you just, I don't know, licking your own butthole and being like, are you proud? Do you feel supported? Like, no, know, like, go back to sleep. Like,
me in the pussy aisle, if I'm being completely honest. How's the medical misogyny in Japan? It hurts really bad. Yeah. I think it's probably pretty bad. I haven't had any problems, but like, I don't know. Probably bad.
Yeah,
mostly middle class. Being affirming makes sense. Yeah,
but like, what? I just don't feel affirmed, or like, you know, ugly clothing stores like safe space here. It's like, okay, your clothes are ugly.
I'm just here to buy some ham. I don't need to.
Yeah.
I'm not here to talk to you about any of this.
Not like, gay. Sorry, was this pig a gay in life? Can I eat this pig, or was it like a gay man heterosexual pig?
It needs to be gay kosher. It needs to be killed by gay people.
It needs to be killed by gay people. I want the pig to have been homosexual. And then how fucking dare you kill this gay pig? Why do you want to kill gay pigs?
It needs its throat slit at a drag show for me to be able to eat it.
Oh my God.
What are we talking about? Like, it's so stupid. Like,
it feels so.
Like, what are we talking about? Like,
all the vegan items are on sale for gays only.
I mean, honestly, it's so ridiculous. Like,
I just feel nothing. I'm like, oh, okay, you just like, if anything, it's just like a signal for like, okay, you parrot trans shit, and you think that this is what makes you look woke, so this is what you're doing. You're hanging an ugly flag above where people can purchase cigarettes. Good job. Good job.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's like in the
Cool.
olden day before this it was like, forced on people, like if a business put like a little gay flag up, it meant that they like the owner was gay or like it was a
Mm.
coffee shop and they're like, "Hey, you can come here on a gay date and we're going to be cool because I
Yeah.
actually care about gay people or whatever. And this is like an event where being gay might like a place where being gay might actually be an issue like if you're here on
Be
a date."
different. Be a
Yeah.
different experience than buying my fucking groceries at the store.
Groceries. Right, like
Yeah.
you're gonna have like loud conversations, like if you're gonna be here on a gay date, like in a coffee shop,
Yeah.
like it's gonna be cool, like we're gonna have your back.
Yeah, you might,
But now
have
it's
a little peck on the lips or whatever the hell.
yeah. Like actually meant something back then, and it made like people who were doing that did it in a way that made sense, or they're like, "Hey, I'm gay and this is my little shop and I want other gay people to know they can come here and support a gay owner or
Yeah, it's
whatever."
just a nice
Like
little nod. Like, look at us. Look how good we are. We're so good. We don't even
we're
think
doing
you're that
normal stuff.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now it's
gay
just like it's
groceries.
just yeah, like, "Oh, let me go to this auto shop where like,
Yeah.
for
I've
gay
never been
tires or
able
whatever."
to. Yeah, every time I've gone to the, tire shop, I'm like, hey, I eat pussy. And then they beat the shit out of me and don't pump up my tires,
Yep, they're like, "No way.
Like,
We can't replace
yeah.
your windshield if you're gay. We have to
It's just
only
such
fix it."
a performance. I don't know. Like, I don't know, dude. I mean, I've seen people walk around with like trans flag capes here, so I don't know, dude.
If I saw that, I don't think I'd be able to contain myself.
Yeah, I saw it.
Um,
Like I was with my wife and her family at like a museum, and like all these kids came in like their trans capes, and I'm like, what is going on? Why?
Jesus. Wow.
This is embarrassing. I hate you.
Wow. That's pretty cringe.
Yeah, it was very cringe. It's like we're here to learn. Like it was some Egypt exhibit or something, and then it's like, well, cringe.
But how can I make this about me? I'm uncomfortable when we are not about me.
Yeah.
No.
They're like, Hatshepsut was trans.
Oh God, don't get me
The
started.
only female pharaoh who was like, I believe her like son or nephew was too young to assume the throne, and then she started spinning shit where she was just like, actually, I'm wearing this fake beard, and also my mum fucked a god, so let me be fucking pharaoh, which is
I'm in
hilarious
charge
and
now.
funny. Yeah. Which is like, what a
Actually,
cool
God
cool
said
woman moment.
Yeah, God said I'm the boss now, actually. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, my mom
All
fucked
right.
a god, and so he gave permission to me to be the pharaoh. And then, like, obviously, like, she got erased from like history, like pharaohs after her like tried to, erase her name from things. And then people are like, I'm trans, and I'm like, no, leave that based woman alone. Okay, she was just, she was the Nena of ancient Egypt, actually, because she was just saying things.
Just saying stuff, and everyone's like, so true, queen. I mean, king, sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
King, wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Yeah. You gotta fool around with the crazy pride upper class, liberal, pride affirming stuff about community. Yeah, no, it's not really happening here too much, but that's what this like whole pride community thing is trying to do. It's just like rainbow wash the company. I'm like, well,
yeah, I
okay.
have not participated in any fucking like pride shit. I did some work at one like a pride festival. It's called Feast Festival. It's a queer festival, and I was just at a like a marquee like handing out stuff for a company basically. That got the rainbow tick, and next to me was a dog like show, like people could bring their own dogs, and the categories were like most beautiful female identified dog and most handsome male identified dog. I shit you not. And then I never went again because no.
Yeah.
No. And that was like in 2019 maybe. And I was like, oh wow, okay, yep, we really stupid here. Okay, yeah, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, I'm not like pride here. Well, in Japan, they don't really do it in June. Like they don't do like the whole like unified pride thing because June is rainy season. It would be a really bad time to do anything. So
yeah, we don't have pride here either.
Yeah, it happens in any city at other times. Like we have the Rainbow Festival in October in Osaka, but
yeah,
just because October is better weather. Like it's just
I mean that makes sense. We have Feast in November, I think, because it's warm. But which shout out to Leastbound readers. That's what they were talking about when they said big feed bash. I don't use real names of things, but that's referring to feast. Just a little tidbit. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will probably have to go to the Pride this year again, either with my company or with my friend group. And it was pretty bad last year. I hadn't been since before the pandemic, and it was depressing. I did a video about it. Like, comment, subscribe. No.
I gotta watch more of your videos, dude. You like, how many videos have you made?
Like 3 or 4. Like,
that's pretty good. I've made one like last year, and I'm like, more videos coming soon.
It's so much work. I don't like doing it, but
I'm working on one. It's getting there. I'm tempted to just like grab the script that I wrote, because I like showed you part of the editing for it. And just like,
yeah, I love
maybe it. just doing it live and just be like, here's my slideshow. I don't want to fucking edit all this shit.
It's so much work.
I'm halfway through now though, so
yeah, you got to keep going. It's worth finishing for that one. Oh, you watched all my videos last night and today. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Lily. Yeah, I'm happy to come on again more. You got to vote by liking this video and subscribing.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like it would be nice to do like the spicy homosexual opinion show.
Hell yeah.
The show.
Yeah, the show.
And like just do like a regular.
We should call it the pussy aisle.
So I was walking down the pussy aisle last night, and that's how we started.
And you'll never believe what I fucking saw through the canned pussy. I like potted the canned pussy, and then the next aisle I saw some crazy shit.
Right. I know.
Sorry, my wife is in the other part of the room, and she's looking at me.
I walk back into a room too.
Sorry, darling. Sorry, my love.
No, we wanted Rusty to be, or to RR to be here as well, but it's time-wise, it's a little bit harder.
Canadian.
We're closer together.
Yeah, we're half an hour apart. We're so normal, and then the rest of you are Yanks in the Northern Hemisphere.
Right. We can't get on you guys' situation as well, but like,
no, couldn't relate to being a day behind. Don't understand it.
You don't even know what's going on in the future like we do. But yeah, so we could make this more regular maybe, because it's a lot of fun, but I don't know.
Hell yeah, dude.
If it'll be like a weekly thing or whatever, but as much as
maybe we could get radical on one day.
Yes. Yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
Just come here.
Lisa would be great too. Lisa.
Yeah, hell yeah. I haven't streamed.
Even though you're not a spicy homosexual, but you can be an honorary.
Pretty spicy.
Yeah.
She's spicy. She's representing the heterosexual community. Everything
that
she says is true of all heterosexuals. So if Lisa says it, then it's true. If she's like,
take it as,
I like pickles on my burger, and I'll be like, okay, all straight people like pickles on their burger. Like, I'll just
agree. Yeah, like we'll let her speak for all heterosexuals.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. I'm sorry for the Europeans, because this kind of sucks. Like when we do the night straddle thing to try to get the Americans in on streams and us in the morning, it means like the Europeans are just there at like 2 a.m. like, so true, queens.
Like, sorry, Europeans.
Sorry. I know.
Sorry. We should be looking out for you more. Sorry, Europeans. Toot me alive.
I kind of wanted to like do this like at a time that makes the most sense for us, like after work on a day, but I'm like, that's gonna make it so hard for everyone but us, like
dude, you're cool. It's all right. I work from home. You're good. Yeah,
but it's like, but then Europeans will not really be able. Well, I guess they could do like a morning stream if they can listen at work, but then Americans will be like asleep and complaining about it.
But like, let me think of America. They'll be like, oh no, I was sleeping. Help me, I'm an American.
Right? They'll be like, you
so bad.
The world revolves around America. Why would you do anything when I'm sleeping? Like,
yeah, I haven't even had my morning burger yet, and my morning horse ride. I'm an American.
Oh my god, my MC name is Burgers for Breakfast.
Oh my god.
I made it up myself, and I'm not actually an MC or anything, but I'm like, if I ever became a cool rapper, it would be MC Burgers for Breakfast.
Nice. Little bug. I prefer Europeans, plummy. Europeans.
I'm both. So what of it?
I only like the European part of you. Sorry.
I'm Ameriflexible.
Onion rings and triple stack burgers, right? Well, yeah, American breakfast is whack.
That is actually normal
Maybe
and
putting
good.
like bacon on their pancakes and shit is a little strange.
Yeah, bacon pancakes, baby.
A little strange, a little bit freaky. Not sure how I feel about that. I've been to America briefly, and I went to a Denny's, and the breakfast
Oh
was
yeah. Did you fight
crazy.
anyone?
No, it was very
You've not
civilized.
really been to a Denny's.
It was very civilized. Everyone was like just sitting around eating, and but like the craziest bit for me, okay, so like we ordered this breakfast, and they got like burger and pancake and sausage and egg and all this shit on one plate, and I'd also just asked for like a small milkshake. It wasn't small.
No, it's huge. Yeah.
And like so they brought me a beautifully big milkshake, and then they bought me like an extra cup of milkshake so I could fill it up again. And I was like, what is happening in this world?
That's America way, baby. I'm a Waffle House girl myself.
I did not go to Waffle House. I went to Denny's. I went to Olive Garden, which I thought was a very fancy restaurant until I was informed that it was not. And I went to Dairy Queen and Applebee's.
You went to all of the American landmarks, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was in fucking Wisconsin. I don't know what there is to see up there. It's just snow. It's really cold.
No,
it doesn't.
You legit did everything you need to do in America.
It doesn't snow in Australia, so it was apart from like way up on like one mountain in one state. So seeing snow was very exciting, and I liked seeing squirrels, and I liked seeing a raccoon. That was and a deer. That was very exciting.
Yeah, you Australians like our weird animals.
They're so cute. Like raccoons are like, I just want to like pat one.
They're very cute.
Yeah, it was like in the garbage. It was so cute. And the squirrels,
they're usually there in the garbage. Super cute. Yeah.
And the squirrels are just like, oh, I wish we had squirrels. They're so small and darling.
I know. My girlfriend also loves squirrels. She's obsessed with them. I'm like, they're not that interesting. She's like, oh my god, I love them. I'm like why?
Oh.
She was like, she keeps sending me pictures of squirrels that she sees. She's traveling right now. I'm like, babe, I'm not impressed by squirrels. I have seen so many squirrels in my life. I've touched them. I've been all up in them. I've fed them stuff. Like
I want to touch a squirrel so bad.
They don't like it. Most of them don't really like it. But
okay, I don't want to encourage on that.
Jumped at my face. Yeah. It was fine. I ducked. It was all right. But
phew. Radical always sends me because we've been friends for years. She sends me videos of deer, and she just like walks by them, and they're just there.
Yeah,
and it's just a deer just like walking down the road, and I'm like, you're so lucky. But then I visited my hometown where there's just like kangaroos like jumping around. It's like the stereotype kangaroos just in people's yard, and I was just like, hey, check this out. She's like, oh, I'm so jealous, and I'm like, why are you jealous? You have deer. Kangaroos are nothing. They're just ugly, upright donkey things.
Yeah, they're like if deer hit the gym a lot and we're real.
Yeah. Oh, not all of them are muscular. Only the old man kangaroos are disgusting like that. But I prefer wallabies. Everyone look up wallabies. It's like a cuter kangaroo. They're smaller.
They are cuter.
Their proportions are nicer, and they do a little scritch on their chest. It's so cute.
Oh, yeah, no, they are cuter. They are cuter. I also like quokkas. Is that what they're called?
Oh, quokkas. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so cute.
They always smile.
Yeah, their little face. It's really cute.
I like wombats. They're very cute. My wife and I went to Tasmania this year. We got to see Tassie Devils for the first time. They look nothing like the Looney Tunes character. They're so
no, it doesn't.
And they make the most horrifying noise ever. It's like all the time.
So that is accurate. That is accurate to the cartoon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And they do eat everything like the cartoon. Like they are an endangered species, but they're actually like really good for the ecosystem because their jaws are so powerful. I believe they have the most powerful marsupial jaw because they can just bite through bones. They eat bones. They eat fur. They just eat anything. So like roadkill, they're just like yum yum for me. Clean that up.
No, for me.
Yeah. Thank you. This is now a seminar in Australian wildlife that I like. Bilby's kind of ugly but cute, and I like to tell my bilby story. So bilbies are a desert marsupial. They're probably about as big as a small rabbit, and they're endangered. We have the lesser bilbies, but the greater bilby got extinct. Boohoo sad. So when I was a child growing up, they tried to make bilbies more popular. So they were like, rabbits are an invasive species here. So they were like, okay, it's actually not the Easter bunny that comes to deliver the chocolate. It's the Easter bilby. And that we actually have like chocolate bilbies. And we had to like do mazes where we had to like the wrong end had like a evil looking rabbit, and we had to like get the bilby through the maze to like not die.
Did you have a bilby come to your school, like
Yes.
when that was getting real popular?
Yes.
And you got to learn about the bilbies and like pat the bilby.
Yes, there's a bilby. We didn't get to
Oh,
pat a real bilby though. We had to pat the guy in the suit that was a bilby.
No, we got a real bilby.
What the
that came to
fuck?
our school. And then like,
Was because you went to rich school.
This was the school where we had 40 kids.
Yeah,
and
but you're
we
near
rode
Brisbane.
horses.
Near Brisbane.
It was not.
Near Brisbane.
Toowoomba.
Okay, Toowoomba. Okay. Thank you, darling, for your flex, Bilby flex. Bilbies are like kind of uggo, but kind of cute. I do like them there. Wombats are really cute. They're larger than you think. Oh yeah, the Rise of the Guardians movie thing. Yeah, he was an Australian rabbit, and I was like, why didn't you make him a Bilby? I was very angry about that because they got Hugh Jackman to voice him, and I was like, why isn't he a Bilby? Yes, Rise of the Guardians. I was in that fandom back when I was fucking 16.
oh, baby.
Yeah, that's
so
like
good.
a small wombo.
It's a baby, I think. It's so cute.
Yeah, they can get quite big.
Oh my God.
They were when we were having. I remember reading an article when we were having the fires because they burrow wombats, and their burrows were so big that they were providing shelter to other animals in like the Sydney wildfires, which is awesome. Yeah, wombos are so cute, but they have such big teethies. I love wombos.
Whoa, that was a big teeth.
That's one chunky animal. Yes, they are very chunk. I'm trying to think of other. I guess Aussie hopping mouse is kind of cute as well. Much smaller than Bilbo. Yeah, koalas are stupid. Koalas literally have a smooth brain because when they fall out of trees, their brain rattles around, and they're so fucking stupid. Okay, they eat only eucalyptus leaves that grow on a tree that cannot grow near other trees like it because it has like a toxic range. And eucalyptus leaves are not even fucking good for them. It's like they're eating a diet of only like McDonald's chips, excuse me. They just eat nothing but that and they get chlamydia and they die. But also, like, they're very specific about the eucalyptus leaves that they eat. So if you put a koala in a room and you gave it like a branch of eucalyptus leaves, it would eat it. But if you picked the leaves off and put them on the floor and took the branch away, it wouldn't eat it and it would starve and die because it's a fucking idiot. And their babies eat their mom's poop. That's how they get nourished. And it's disgusting. I hate
they're horrible. I don't like them. They're horrible. Horrible little things.
Big claws, stupid, idiot, dumb marsupial, stupid.
They're real dumb. It's like kind of hard to find them too lovable. But
they are endangered, plump plumie. They are an endangered species because they're so fucking dumb. Also because people keep chopping down eucalyptus trees and that's the only thing they eat.
If I was a koala, I would simply eat other stuff.
Because koala means no water. They do not drink water even. No, they don't. The only time that they would be dropping is when they are dead and they are not bears, T-Dot. They are not bears. They are marsupials. They're too stupid to even be a bear. We don't have bears here. I feel like a wombat looks more like a bear than a koala.
Yeah, they don't look very bear-like. Koalas are not very bear-like.
Yeah. Oh, what about echidnas?
Oh, those are cute.
Echidnas are kind of goofy but funky. So, if you're familiar with the Sonic Knuckles character, this is what he's supposed to be, an echidna. He do not be looking like that, but they are very funky.
They're like very glamorous moles.
Yeah.
The mole who got like a good haircut today.
Yeah.
Like frosted tip, spiky, 90s.
Stuck in the 90s. This is a boy band.
Yes, this is a boy band mole.
Boy band mole.
That's what it looks like. But yes. But good night, plum, plum, plum.
Yeah.
Plum.
It doesn't have to be about Australian wildlife. If you would like to field any other questions, we're also here for that. I sort of derailed the topic. Excuse me. I just had to have you people know.
Yeah. You people, that's so offensive. Rusty's kidding. Let me remove her from the stream right now.
Sorry, you women.
Yeah, thank you. Yassified porcupine. Yeah. It's very silly looking. But yeah, we don't have to
AMA
animal pictures. We're free. We can talk. We should like we should talk about web comics at some point. You and me about
Yes,
that.
I want to hear
and
about
come-
your webcomic.
Yeah. Once. Yeah. Oh geez. And then we can talk about my Pride Committee things. Like I've been like writing down what's going on because I've been finding this very entertaining. So you can catalog meeting 1, meeting 2.
Yeah, we want to hear how it's going.
Happening.
Nice little journal.
Yeah, a little play-by-play of how that's going. Should be pretty funny.
We can like vote on what you do next.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Like a choose your own adventure story, but with Nena's real life in the workplace.
Well, now, yeah, I just got promoted and I got a permanent contract. So good luck getting rid of me now, everyone.
Yeah,
me, baby.
Congrats, queen.
Yeah, so it'll be real hard for them to fire me. Even if they're like, oh no, she's literally doing genocide with her transphobia, they'll be like, oh, we can't stop her though.
I hope that train of thought never comes there because I feel like that's way less common for someone to say.
The only thing though, there is one non-binary in the group. Oh, I'm pretty sure she's
like the non-binary is catching on.
Yeah. I also like non-bonery, and like all sorts of other ways to make it sound even dumber than it already is.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I just
congrats.
got also pro-binary.
Pro-binary. But isn't that like, aren't you like pro the binary then? Like,
right, because they are.
They just put things in front of them.
Else. Yeah. They're pro-binary for everyone else. And
except
then not for them.
So special.
But the binary has to exist in order for them to be special. So they're very pro the binary.
It's so dumb. They
call them pro-binaries sometimes, which they don't like, but it's true.
They just fuck up. They just be fucking up the word so bad. Oh.
I know, right?
Or it's like whenever I see like aphobia, I'm like, A as a prefix means lack of, so you lack phobia. Fuck you.
It's like, oh, you're fearless. Good for you. But very dumb.
Oh, thank you, Anony. Please look forward to the one video that I have. I have one.
Yeah, you have a video coming up at some point.
Yeah, I'm working on it, but you know, I got like working on chapter 12. I'm doing like a special thing this time with my Webby comic where I'm gonna surprise everyone. Well, it's gonna be a surprise for the readers in the stream, but I want to do because it's a flashback chapter, so I'm gonna be doing like a page a day. So I'm making all the pages now. Yeah, so then they're gonna be like, ah! So it's a treat for the girls. Love it. Yeah. So I haven't had time for the video because you know drawing takes a while, ladies. Wish I could just print it from my brain, or just I don't know, make character bios like gendies do, and then don't do anything with them. You know how it be.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Oh, the comments on my video, Anon, like the one where I was like, "Don't fuck men," and then they were like, "But I like fucking men."
I get a lot of comments like, "Why are you deleting my comments?" I'm like, I literally don't know who you are, what you're talking about. I'm not deleting anything. YouTube probably like if you like sent me death and rape threats, YouTube is deleting them. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Like, it's like, sorry, you displayed spam behavior. That wasn't on me.
Yeah, it's like I have no idea what you're talking about. It's like you say you want debate, but actually women can have men by. I'm like, I'm not actually interested in talking to someone who has no argument besides, but what about men's feelings? Like, I'm not.
Yeah. What about my Jakey? What about my boyfie?
Yeah, it's like, did I say I was interested in debating you on my YouTube, or am I just here to scream into the void?
Yeah, everything is a debate. Everything is like, you can't just be like, I don't know. It's like people forgot how to, or at least I guess younger people forgot how to like just see something that you don't like and then go, I'm not going to engage. I'm going to continue on. You know, it's so easy. And yet. Yeah,
they also like they never address the actual points that make any sense. They're always just like caught up on whatever tautology they've got in their head, like, but trans women are women, and you're like, okay, like I'm not.
Like you said it in a mean way, or like the way that you use these words, I couldn't listen to what you were saying because I didn't like the way you said it. It's like, okay,
it's like, okay, it's like all right, I don't care.
I'm not playing that game. I'm not kowtowing to that. No.
Yeah, it's like okay.
I'm gonna say it in a mean way. You called us a cult, a gender cult, and technically we're not a cult. I'm like, okay.
All right.
All
I'm
right.
well, not interested in engaging with you.
Certainly
So
behaving one like right now, trying to control how I speak, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just like over it, but
yeah,
I just put things out there. You can watch them or not. I don't care. I don't. Like, I'm just like, all right. There's people who watch it and like it, and they feel less insane and crazy in the world and alone. I'm like, that's basically what it's for. So if
that's
you
the
like
goal.
it, good. Yeah, it's not for you. Not everything is for you. Bye.
Exactly.
Like,
yes, Minka. Thank you so much. I love
yeah.
that quote from Magdalene
Me
Byrne.
too.
May she rest in peace. What a legend. Absolute
Right?
fucking queen.
Agreed.
I try to live my life by this doctrine. I'd rather be rude than a fucking liar. Especially because, you know, women are expected to not be rude and we second guess everything. It's like, actually, you know, you're insane and I'm correct. So that's all there's going to be.
Yep. I'm not going to apologize about it.
Nope.
Yep. All right. Well, I actually should get wrapped up because I have to go do the thing. I have to leave in a bit. But yeah, and also we've just been talking about nonsense for like like 2 hours. So I guess we can stop.
Hell
No,
yeah.
not 2 hours. No, like an hour and a half. I'll say an hour and a half because I think we talked. We're on topic for a while.
Yeah, we're on topic
for like
for
an
a while.
hour and a half ish, I think, and then after that, we're just kind of, you know.
I can only be on topic for so long. I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to derail topics. It's in my blood.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Nani. I only found out who she was like right at the time where she was like in critical condition basically. So
yeah.
I really missed my chance to hang out with her and stuff.
But you know, we gotta remember her as she was, and you know, it's a good sign because a lot of you girlies in the chat, you're quite young, so like, can't blame yourselves for coming a little late. But you know, you can still watch all her content, remember it. She was very smart.
Yeah.
You know,
no, she's awesome.
As she was saying, she is not a martyr. You know, you got to put in the legwork yourself. So be inspired rather than, I guess, sad that you missed out. Carry on what she's doing.
Yeah, so I hang out with real lesbians who are actually saying, yeah, I know, right?
Big same, Lily, big same.
It's sad now for like younger lesbians who like don't have any space, have no community because like it's just completely fucking destroyed. Like it's completely destroyed. There's nothing left. And I had that when I was younger. Like my whole webcomic was just about that sort of. And I'm like, wow, that's gone.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of missed the boat on that as well. Like I feel like
you did. Yeah. That 10-year gap. Like I was like I was out and a lesbian during like the 3 years it was okay to be a lesbian. Like,
God, what great years. No, like, cause like, you know, Jenny's get on me. There's like, oh, 2013 wasn't that long ago. It's like when I graduated, like there is no GSAs. There was none at like my high school. Like people called, you know, don't be a fucking queer. There was no out to gay people. I went to a small country school. It just wasn't
No,
done.
there wasn't in my school either. No.
Yeah.
That was nothing.
You know, everybody thought I was a lesbian and I was just like, no.
Like, no. Oh. I love not being a lesbian.
Yeah, I'm so neutral
on pussy. Let's not talk about this anymore. Actually, who wants to look at this picture of a transformer I drew or whatever? Like, let's talk about anything else now.
Yeah, and it's like I came out and then like trans shit was coming on the rise. Because I was an adult for 2 years and then gay marriage passed in the US and they're like, okay, trans now.
Yep, exactly. Fun.
Yeah. But no, thank you
sharing.
for bye echidnas. Thank you so much for coming, ladies. You've been great in the chat today. Very smart, wise, big brain women here today.
I know. I always love seeing the same people and seeing some new people, like some people I didn't really recognize. I'm like, oh, it's awesome to have you guys here. Thank you so much. We'll try to do this more regularly. I'll be able to like post with a little bit more notice next time. I had to like activate my account on YouTube or whatever, so I couldn't give much notice this time. But next time, whenever that will be, we will give it a little bit more notice. So
hell yeah, and I may also be here. If you want to have me again,
I would. I would. I would. But yes, thank you guys for joining, and we will see you around. And feel free to I'll post the study in a comment if you want to check it out later.
Hell yeah.
And yeah,
We'll catch you in the pussy aisle next time.
yeah. See everyone in the pussy aisle.
May our paths cross in the pussy aisle.
Exactly. Like, may you step lightly, and may the pussy aisle always be well stocked. Good night, everyone.
Exactly. Good night. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Goodbye. I'll end the broadcast, and then we'll be doing stuff. Bye.